too late to tell me how you feel. We've got all day, so show me what is real. 'Cause I don't play no games. This could be the real deal, right here, you and me. So tell me we're on to something, baby, don't leave me hanging. Giving you all my loving, but how am I supposed to know if you feel the same way, or if you want me to stay? Baby, just give me something. How am I supposed to know? We've got all this time, so stop wasting mine. We've got all this time. How am I supposed to know? Supposed to know.
What is going on? Why are you giving me two screens? What is happening? We're on live stream now. What are you? I thought just the internet was being weird, but apparently softwares are being weird as well. Go back to Sunny. Why are you showing me two things? I don't care. Don't show me two things. Stop it. Change that layout. There we go. It was a layout issue. It was a me thing. Hello and welcome to an odd stream. We're not streaming everywhere because we just had weirdness happen. The internet is being weird, so we just don't have the things. Not on Rumble because even though I have a static stream key with Rumble, it's what I used today instead of going into Rumble and individually. I know I'm not on Rumble, and Kick is just down. So Rumble, even though I have the static stream key, and that's what I used, it didn't automatically go from Streamlabs and trigger the live stream on Rumble. So I thought that was part of the point of having a static stream key. Usually, God, these nuts. So usually what I do with Rumble is the one that I put the description and the thumbnail into first, and then I turn Streamlabs on. And then also to end the live stream on Rumble, I don't just end it on Streamlabs, I have to end it on Rumble platform for my Rumble stream. But I was just kind of like considering today, I didn't go in to set up a live stream directly on Rumble because I'm like, I have a static stream key, so it should, and hypothetically speaking, it should work the way it works for all of the other places. And I, populated everything on here and then went live, but Rumble is just like not. So I just have to keep like doing what I've been doing with Rumble. I was just hopeful that I wasn't gonna have to continue to do that extra stuff. But I guess they just haven't developed their platform to the point where you can do that. Kick, I know Kick's not working. It continues to stay offline, and it might just be one of those programs that's still having issues to the point where you can't even stream on it right now. So why is my title The Internet is Wonky, so let's play? Well, the internet is wonky. There's some weird stuff possibly with like the authentication servers and systems that go into a wide variety of different programs. And since we're so limited in the things that we can actually do because so many things are struggling, might as well come stream early. So I'm having a snack, I'm having my coffee, and we're playing Palia because Palia somehow, even though their servers can get interesting, sometimes like 800, 900, 1,600 Palians ahead of you, it's still up. So let's play Palia and let's stream it because everything else is being weird and wonky, and also my mom's already awake. So also, more importantly than that, I forgot to take my medicine today. That's not what I was about to say.
What?
What? Okay, the more importantly thing wasn't that I forgot my meds. The more importantly thing is that I'm actually going to start being able to stream earlier because I'd been taking my medicine regularly, and at the advice of my psychiatrist. This is not medical advice, this is just my life and what my doctor said for my specific situation. At the advice of my psychiatrist, I was only taking Adderall when I perceived that I would need it. Like when I'm in college, I take it almost every day. Well, I'll take it Monday through Thursday because that's usually when I'm registered for classes. And if I have something really important and critical coming up, I'll be like, okay, I'll take the Adderall today. But I just felt this inspiration last week, late last week, to just take it on Thursday. I think Thursday was the first day I took it. And I was kind of like, oh, I feel functioning at a higher level, which is normal for someone with ADHD who takes their medication. But I was like, oh, I want to function tomorrow as well. So then I took it on Friday. And I was like, ooh, I'm functioning even more. And then I took it again on Saturday. And I function at a level of, I don't know, adulting. Basically, I've mentioned in the past that I don't stream early because my mom is older, so her sleep cycle is basura, utter trash. Like sometimes she won't go to sleep until like 5 in the morning, so then it bothers her and she yells at me and is utter, and I mean it's not good for her health anyway, so I get annoyed from my perspective of the things that I want to do and need, but in reality, it's not that I don't appreciate that she's going through hardships, because it's not that she doesn't want to go to sleep, it's just, you know, her body's like, psych, sleep for who? Not you, madam, not you. So that's why I wasn't doing earlier streams. But Saturday, the superpower of being on my medication for, what was that one, 3 days in a row, it unlocked something in my mind. Lower the music. Oh yeah, okay, hold on. So it unlocked something in my mind. And suddenly, like, the chaos that was in my room wasn't as daunting. And I was like, what is this chaos that I'm living in right now? You know, I'm gonna turn this to the yellow because I feel like we need a little bit of yellow light in our life. Yep. I think that looks a little bit better. So on Saturday, and okay, so I felt dumb. So I felt dumb because it seemed so obvious once I took my meds consistently. It's like, wait, how did this not occur to me sooner? So I also did turn the gain down on my hardware. I had to turn it up. There we go. That'll also help. I was recording something else, yesterday, so I turned down the volume on the microphone. So once I had consistently been on my meds, it was like, oh, I guess somebody let the dog out. I suddenly noticed that a lot of things were falling to the wayside, and it's like I could see it. Like, it wasn't, I don't know how to explain it the most great way, but essentially the way it felt was that I had blinders on, and I just, not only did I not notice the chaos as much, but I didn't notice the chaos, and I didn't see the solution for it. So Friday night actually, I had this epiphany, which is why I felt dumb, because it's something, I feel like it's something I should have figured out sooner. But again, it was like, it's almost like I was going through life with blinders for a long time. I had an epiphany on Friday that a lot of what was holding me back from adjusting and fixing my room to a better situation where I could close my door was the fact that I have ridiculously heavy furniture. And it suddenly struck me, hey Jenny, welcome to the stream. It suddenly struck me Friday night, like, okay, the furniture is super heavy, but I could literally just buy those furniture slider things and then just put it under the furniture and move the furniture. So on Saturday, I took John to Home Depot, because they have the Home Depot workshop for kids, and I want coffee and then to close it. This little thermos thing is great, but if you don't put the cap on it, like, it's great. If I put the cap on it, I'll have warm coffee for like 5 hours. Well, it starts hot, so I can't drink it immediately, but I will eventually just have warm coffee for an extended period of time. But if I forget to put the lid on, you get a good 45 minutes out of it. So I took John to our local Home Depot to do the Home Depot workshop that they have for kids. And whale of a tale. Find more fragments of a mysterious whale. Would I have to fish it? Find other pieces of a Quindu Chapa recipe you found near the statue garden. Having like a random scavenger hunt, I guess. So I took him to Home Depot. While we were in Home Depot, I waited the time where I thought it would be the most appropriate to walk away from him. He's also 12, so I can just leave him behind in the activity area and come back. But the time when he may need help with like hammering and screwing and all these other things, that's when I was like, I stayed there in case he needed my help with the build. Once he was done with the build and had moved on to painting, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go over here to get this supply. I'll be back shortly. And I ran over a couple of aisles, I got the sliders, I brought them back home, and I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 minutes after I brought them home, I started like pushing the heavy duty dresser so I could slide, put the sliders into the corners, and that was it. Like, it was just downhill from there, or, it was like a snowball from there, because downhill generally has negative connotations, but it was like skiing downhill basically after that moment, because everything else was so much smoother. The pack that I bought came with 8 sliders, so I used the really large ones on the dresser because it's like a solid wood antique thing, and then on my other large piece of furniture, I used the slightly smaller ones, and it was a hot knife through butter. I did so much functioning. I rearranged the room, I'm able to close my door again, finally. I then had ample floor space and comfortable feng shui. We're just gonna call it that. It's not necessarily feng shui, but just like the layout and everything in the room went, it was just amazing levels of better. So I took all the way too many baskets of clothing and, oh no, a little bit too low on that. And I separated all the laundry. I also did like 4 loads of laundry, but I was so adulting with it not only did I do the laundry, I put it away same day. I am so proud of myself. I don't have a stitch of clean laundry that's not in its proper place right now. So I went through doing all of that on Saturday. And then Sunday, I kept cleaning and decluttering and working. Did I do my laundry on Saturday? No, I must have started laundry on Sunday. I think I started the laundry on Sunday because Saturday, moving all the furniture around, including like completely moving the bed around, took a lot of time, and it caused a lot of body pain. But I took some naproxen and we're good. Also, not medical advice. It's just the one thing that I take if I'm in pain. I'll just take an anti-inflammatory, and that's occasional. I have to be in severe amounts of pain to actually do it. But anyway, that's beside the point, because that's stuff I've said in previous streams. But Sunday I got into the vibe with the laundry. But there's also a whole bunch of other stuff that I did, like, you know, there was live streaming, there was dealing with the shorts, there was doing some research on a site that I'm thinking about subscribing to help me with creation of shorts, because I don't love editing. I'm quite capable at it when I can focus at it, but at my current dose of Adderall, I can't, because I need a higher level of hyperfocus, and I don't want to up my dose of Adderall because I don't need it for the rest of functioning on life. It would basically just be like get a higher dose to force my body to focus on editing. That's how much I do not like it. It's not a passion of mine. So I researched that program. This is not sponsored, but I ended up liking it. It's called Opus, and they have a free option, and then there's a paid tier and a slightly higher paid tier. So I'm trying it out for the rest of the month, and I'm using the free tier to decide if I'm going to go into the paid tier next month. A bunch of other little... Can I get a paper towel, please? Or a tissue, that works too. You're done with the quiz? Was there anything else?
Yeah.
Okay, well, move on to the next one. On to the next thing, because the quiz, my smart boy, was quite easy for you. Good job. Yeah, so Saturday I did all the furniture moving. Sunday I started with the decluttering, organizing, and doing all of the laundry stuff, and a whole bunch of little things also in between. And then yesterday, I even put in, look, y'all, I've mentioned that I'm applying for work. I'm applying for home jobs. Work from home jobs. And I even did like a cover letter. Then I did this thing for this one job, for this one position, where there was only one extra input for like a cover letter or certifications. And I needed to put in all of the certifications that I have scanned in for my logistics experience in the Army. And I even figured, I was like, okay, I need to turn this into a very lengthy Word document in PDF where I just put in all the certificates onto one thing, because I had them each individually scanned. And so I even went through that. I'll generally, too many times, end up partially doing something and then not completing it. Hazards of ADHD. But like, completion rate since Friday especially has been outstanding. And that's with life happening too, and chaos. Because yesterday was it yesterday, Teddy? That there was, I think it was yesterday, right? The overflowing sink chaos. Then Monday came, and I took my meds again. So functioning at adult levels continued, and it was so wonderful. And I ended up getting on the phone with the community college, my local community college that I've been going to, because community college is cheaper and the education is not that much different. Because I mean, it's a curriculum. Anyways, that's not the point. My local community college, I got in touch with everyone I need to get in touch with to get ready to register for classes because while I was high on functioning, I ended up realizing that if I switched majors, even though I have a passion for neuroscience, which is what I was studying, my current situation doesn't allow me to go. It's not conducive to me being able to do neuroscience because I need to go in person for that. I'm not. Oh, great. Microsoft is still not working. I need to check my school email. God, this internet wonky stuff is just so annoying. So, because it seems like what's up with the internet has to do with some sort of authentication software issue that is almost like the foundation for a lot of other websites. So like it's not it's just happening to Microsoft, or it's just happening to Apple, or it's just happening to Alphabet. It seems to be some sort of core program that they all share in common. So it's like in the back of the back of the back of their operations, but they share it in common because it's not proprietary to them. And so many programs and apps are just having issues because it be happening like that. And I just tried to go on my school email because I know that I have one more form to fill out before I can complete the registration for my class. It's an extra veteran checklist thing I need to do. And Microsoft is still like, no, we're not working yet. So annoying. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get that taken care of. Hopefully I'll be able to get it taken care of today. Hopefully they can figure out the internet today, because it's not the internet. It's whatever this authentication program is in the background of all of the things. So then yesterday, I did a lot of the things to do with getting myself ready to finally have a piece of paper that says I've been to college, even though I have so many credit hours. They just don't align with anything because I've had like one or two majors that are maybe similar to each other, and then it'll be like drastic change. When I started college, back in the olden days, right after high school. So I graduated high school at 16. I started college immediately that next fall. So I started college at 17, and I was studying forensic psychology. I did that for a year and joined the Army. While I was in the Army, I took, because the sciences generally have a good amount of labs, so that wasn't a field that I could stay in while being active duty Army, because I didn't really have the time to take classes that needed in-person presentation for all of the lab things. So I switched to criminal justice. I did that for a year. And then, every time I get to a situation where I have to start looking at case studies for kids and things like that, I can't handle it. My gentle little empathetic heart that loves children just can't handle it. And I'll end up having really hard times with those classes, just facing the darkness that people visit upon children is like, oh God, what is wrong with the world? I'll pass the classes, but I'll be so emotionally drained and it'll be a struggle. So I just come to the realization that it's not something that sustainable for me long term. Like when I was doing forensic psychology, and I started to realize that it wasn't just psychos and criminals. Like I was gonna have to start dealing with psychotic criminals and death that had to do with children, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. I'm not equipped for that. I changed to criminal justice just so that because criminal justice does have a wide variety of fields that you can go into, but a lot of them do still have to do with crime and society and like a lot of social work aspects of it, and like being confronted with how much people neglect and abuse their children, not just like what we consider heavy crimes, you know, like not just the jail crimes, but like just the abuse and neglect that entirely too many children are subjected to. I was like, oh gosh, pretty much most of the jobs that I'm going to qualify for in this field, I am eventually, if not too often, going to have to face this really painful to me dark side of humanity. So I was just kind of like, no, let's change this. Not gonna keep doing the criminal justice thing. So then I switched to business administration. And business administration didn't have any like emotional issues other than the fact that I came to this I got confronted with the fact that I really struggle with numbers and math. I don't have dyscalculia, it's just that it's just very challenging to do math-based things. So when I was doing the macro and the microeconomics, I struggled so much, and I took each class, I don't remember if it was twice or 3 times, and it's the same content because I failed it, so I was just retaking it, and I was still just like struggling hardcore. So I was like, yeah, well, since this is requisites at least, to like, even if you don't necessarily have to use the macro and the micros whenever you actually start doing the jobs, at least when it comes to like the college aspect of it, you do need to take these things. And if I'm taking them, like, it was either 2 times or 3 times in a row and not getting it, it is just not, then maybe this is not the field for me, because like it's a requirement, it's a credit requirement for that career field, for that class, you know, for that major, there we go, for that major. So even if it's not something that I end up having to use in the real world, I still have to pass it in the college world. So I ended up, after a year, actually business administration might have only been, no, business administration, because I know I took those at least twice, but it might have been over the summer semester as well. Huh. I did business admin for 2 semesters. I think that's because that. So then I took those classes. Can I get another tissue, please? Can I get 2? 1 for now and 1 for later. I said okay. Said 2. He gave me 3, but that's fine. Yeah. So business administration, 2 semesters. But I loved tax law, so I'm a weirdo. I love business law. I'm not a weirdo. It's just a little. It's not for everybody. It's kind of boring, but I loved it. I find love in weird. I find that I love some eccentric topics, but that's fine. Like tax law, that's business law. That's what you're. Yeah, that was my jam. So I love those, and I was disappointed to end up struggling so badly in such an integral part of the degree program that I couldn't skip, because then, you know, I didn't find myself being too qualified to finish the degree if there are 2 core classes that I continuously failed. So I changed when I went back to college eventually. So this is over many years, by the way. This is over many, many years. So I started my first full-time stint in college. It was in 2003. And there were many years in between each enrollment. So I said, join the party. Why are you not responding to my prompts? What did I go to after business administration? Education. And I did that, and I was missing, well, not missing, I had to retake a couple of classes because I would get like C's on them. And at the time when I initially enrolled at my community college, the requirements to actually qualify for your certificate, your associates as an educator, was a minimum 3.0. And there are some classes where I like don't even think about it. I'm on autopilot and I get that sweet A. But there's also some classes where I have to put in a lot of effort and I struggle with deadlines and, you know, time blindness, fun things. It's not fun, it's terrible. And object permanence struggles, also terrible. But just, there was a couple of them. I think there was like 2 of them where I actually got D's, which is still passing, but it really brings down your GPA. And I was like, I'm not at 3.0. And I started retaking classes to try to get my GPA up. But in the meantime, I was doing observations, then I was doing student teaching, and then I was like full-time volunteering in a classroom because they couldn't afford to pay me. And also they wouldn't hire me without the certification being done, but they definitely used my manpower and they definitely had me teaching the kids. I may not have been registered as the main teacher, but yeah, I wasn't just there. That's not the point. I enjoyed every moment of it. I also did some time being the art teacher for the Montessori school that John was in, and I would have loved for him to stay in there, but also it was super expensive. It was $1,000 a month. Might have been more actually, because I'm thinking it was $12,000 a year. I think I got him a scholarship for about $1,500 or something like that. And then we never renegotiated when I started being the art teacher because art was only once a week. So it never even occurred to me to renegotiate the position, to renegotiate his scholarships so that I wouldn't have to pay as much. Because essentially I was paying to work for them because I was paying his tuition and also working for them. It was basically a part-time position because again, art was only once a week, but it was an hour once a week, every week. And I love my kids. So I was gonna say like I had to deal with the kids. I'm like, yeah, no, but I love the kids. Look, being the art teacher is fun, but when you don't have like a static classroom, it's not as great. Because every time I had to bring any heavy things for, I think I was paying about $1,100 a month for his tuition after the scholarship. So there was a project that I needed to, I think there was 2 projects. There might have been 2 projects for which I used my Cricut. And I have the Cricut Explorer. That thing is huge and it's heavy, and I'm like lugging all these things into the classroom. The kids loved it. We had a great time, but just the mobility of it was kind of annoying. And when I was at the Montessori school, because it was only once a week, we made art be on Friday because I had college class Monday through Thursday. So art was Friday, and I would go in, do class, and then continue on with life. But when I was essentially, well, not essentially because I wasn't getting paid, so it's like directly. When I was volunteering as a teacher's assistant, that was the actual position, that was the actual tasks that I was completing. The title of the position is only possible to have it be volunteer because otherwise laws. And when I was doing that, I took off from school. Like I just didn't register. Because I started with that teacher as a student teaching assignment while I was in class. And I believe that semester I may have only had 3 days of school, and whenever, or I would go do my student teaching in the afternoon. But the point was that I was regularly with her from the beginning of the school year, and then when that semester ended and I didn't have to go back to her class anymore to meet my college requirements, I stayed with her, and I decided to not register for my next semester so I could stay with her for the entire school year, which I ended up staying with her till like March instead of all the way to the end of the semester, because that was one of the years where I ended up pulling John out for homeschooling at the end of the semester. At the end of the school year, for like the last 2 months of the school year, I pulled John out from in classroom sessions because too much was happening in his classroom. So his teacher had a special needs child, and she was having a lot of issues with his own schooling at the school that he would go to. And unfortunately, that began to negatively affect her own classroom duties, where there was a lot of things that were being misrepresented, misreported, and I'm in the same school as her, like essentially full-time volunteer at the same school, so I know everything that's going on, and I'm keeping track of things, not just as a parent, but kind of as an educator. And I started to realize that a lot of what she was reporting and a lot of what was happening was really just a misrepresentation, because she was constantly leaving early, constantly absent. When I say a misrepresentation, I mean, like, for example, where she was reporting student proficiency at, and especially my students' proficiency at. And the first time that it happened, I was already aware, because like I would either see her or see him in the hallways and stuff, and we would talk when we could. And I started to notice that things were kind of like she was having a hard time. And I believe second marking period, I noticed that what she was reporting on his report card was kind of off, where it would be like, so this specific experience, John was in kindergarten, and by kindergarten, John was already adding 3-digit numbers to 2-digit numbers, because he's look, he popped out mean mugging me, like literally popped out mean mugging me. So that child was born smart. And I knew his capacity with math and the other subjects too, but math is the one that was really stood out. And she wrote on his report card that he was just barely meeting the standard. And I'm like, he's in kindergarten and he's adding 3-digit numbers to 2-digit numbers. That doesn't strike me as just barely meeting the requirements. And I was like, well, let's see what happens though. And there were complaints, there were other things that were stacking up. This wasn't the only thing, but this is essentially the straw that broke the camel's back. On top of the things that were stacking, a whole bunch of little things that were stacking, there was also this issue where I was noticing that the teacher wasn't properly gauging or reporting where her students were, specifically mine. And second marking period passed, and I was like, okay, let's see what happens. I'm gonna give it one more chance before anything, because I know that she's having issues, and I know that she's having to leave a lot of times, like in the middle of the day, and there's a lot of days that she was calling out last minute, because I remember the scramble to try and find a replacement for her in very short notice, because again, special needs child, it's not on a schedule. Like, your kids' needs are not on a schedule, which I'm well aware of that. And she did that the second marking period, like essentially saying that he was just barely meeting the standard, which I found suspicious. And then third marking period, at the end of the third marking period, report cards came back, and she said not meeting the standards. And by then, John had started exploring on his own multiplication, like simple multiplication. And I'm like, madam, he is 5 and exploring and figuring out simple multiplication on his own, just because I don't think you're like appropriately measuring his level, his capacity, and then putting it on the report card when you're telling me that he's not meeting the standard in math, and he will sit here at home with me and do very simple multiplications. I'm pretty sure my 5-year-old does meet the standard. He probably exceeds the standard, and the problem is not on his end. So at that time, you know, a little bit of time went by and I was getting something straightened out. And to be honest, I kept him in there longer because if I brought him home from homeschooling, I didn't want him to get stigmatized. So I didn't want to be that parent that in such a relatively small community was complaining about his teacher and then had him move to another kindergarten teacher. And I know how it was because I was in the school. All the teachers talk and they discredit the kids. And sometimes it's completely unmerited and it's just to make themselves look good. And it sucks that that is the case of what happens sometimes, but that was what was happening sometimes with a couple of teachers in that school. And I just considered that it wasn't going to be helpful for me to request for him to just move to another teacher's classroom. Also, all of the classrooms were over childrened, not overstaffed. They had too many kids, so there wasn't actually a classroom for him to be sent into. I did research it before I made the homeschooling decision. When I did all the research that I could, and I found that this was just the best way to go, because also he's 5, so this is what I'm training to be anyway, I could just go ahead and finish out his school year for him at home. Plus, at that time, because I was in the midst of my own degree, I had a pretty huge portfolio of lessons that were age appropriate for him, because I had to focus more on the kindergarten, first grade aspect of my portfolio building rather than building out my like 3rd and 4th grade curriculum portfolio. So I felt totally able to take over the rest of kindergarten for him. I exhausted all my other options and I decided bring him home. The first thing I did, because I wasn't just gonna go into it blind, the first thing I did was look into the state requirements for deeming a child at level for kindergarten. I couldn't find one for kindergarten, so I found one for first grade or 2nd grade. It was a 1st, 2nd grade one. I gotta look for it. I'd never got rid of it. It might have been 2nd grade, because it's the only one I could find that had the entire PDF and all the explanations on how to properly administer it, because if I'm not administering it properly, like, it's kind of a useless assessment if I don't administer it right. So I did the thing. Oh, that's what it was. It was an assessment to gauge whether the student was on level for graduating 1st grade. I couldn't find anything for kindergarten. So John was in the middle of kindergarten, and I gave him an assessment that was to see if essentially the child had gained all the necessary knowledge to go into 2nd grade. And after exhaustive review of all of the pages explaining how you're supposed to properly administer the assessment, I gave John the assessment. And John leveled at ready to go into 2nd grade. So I was kind of like, so I made the right choice, because his kindergarten teacher was saying he wasn't even on level for kindergarten. And when I administered the state assessment I timed it and everything. Like, I went off of the instructions that came with the packet. Because like the first 10 or 15 pages was just instructions on how to properly administer the test. So I had this moment of feeling like vindicated, basically, and where I felt like, oh, it's not just because it's my kid. Because a lot of times we understand as human beings and as parents that we are going to be partial to our own children because they are ours. It makes sense to be partial towards them. And I had that doubt in the back of my mind especially every time you make a major decision, like pulling your kid out of in-classroom classes, when what I've been used to, like how I've been just socialized, is that what you do is you send your kids to school when they turn 5. That's just what you do. That's the norm. So it was really counterintuitive for how I'd been raised to believe, to bring him home. Even though I was realizing that was the best option, I still felt like maybe I'm making the wrong choice. And when I administered the assessment and I saw his results, I felt really, really vindicated. I was like, okay, cool. So it wasn't just me being partial to my own child, because this is ridiculous. You're telling me he's not on level for kindergarten, and yet the state prepared assessment is telling me that he's actually prepared to go into 2nd grade.
Okay, so you're saying not prepared for kindergarten, prepared for 2nd grade. Right?
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so maybe you were missing a patch of the programming. You didn't have the kindergarten patch, but you got the 2nd grade update a little early. So I felt really vindicated in that moment. And then I just kind of told him, like, all right, so I guess we're on vacation for the rest of the school year, because this was like April timeframe. It was like end of March, April. And I'm just like, okay, what am I going to teach him? Like, he needs to be prepared to go into 1st grade, because I was planning on putting him back in the classroom for 1st grade, because he would have a different teacher and things were just going to be different. And I did. That's when I put him in Montessori. And I just had this moment of thinking, like, what am I going to teach him? Because he needs to be prepared to go into 2nd grade, but his education level, like his knowledge level, is already ready to go into 2nd grade. So, like, why am I going to waste time schooling him more? And the reason I considered it to be a waste of time, learning isn't a waste of time, but when you have a 5-year-old who is going to be 6 when they go into 1st grade, and at the beginning of 1st grade, they already mastered all of the content that they need for 1st grade, they are going to be constantly bored, and they are going to be consistently fighting that boredom, because they already know all of the stuff. So I didn't want to teach him anymore, because I wasn't going to bombard him with relearning the things he already knew. I wasn't going to suffocate him with giving him 1st grade content that he already tested out of. So I would have to go up in level. The content would have to reflect a 2nd grade curriculum, and it just didn't make sense to me to start teaching him 2nd grade stuff when he was getting ready to go into 1st grade, and it was just going to give him a longer span of time that he was going to be bored, frustrated, and have a higher likelihood of acting out in the classroom. So we just started summer vacation in like March, end of March, beginning of April. We're just on vacation now. Summer starts now, because like you don't need me to. I'm not gonna sit here and like ruin 1st grade for you any more than it's already, like, I'm not gonna cause you any more struggles in 1st grade than you're already gonna have. So yeah, so education, I did love it, but I also came to the realization at one point that I wasn't going to be able to do education well and also parent well. So my options were, I parent well and teach not so well. I don't teach well and Jesus, words. Okay, either I parent well and don't teach well and don't parent well, or be mediocre at both. And 2 of those options were like a whole lot of no. I gave up my entire career to parent this child well. So I'm not about to, and when I say that, I mean like I gave up my military career for the benefit of parenting my child better. And, you know, being actually present while he was growing up. So I already had sunk in 7, almost 8 years into the Army by the time they made me decide, are you are you choosing the army or are you choosing parenting? Are you choosing your child? So when I got out, I already sunk the first 8 adult years of my life into the army. So I gave up my career that I'd already put so much into for my child. I wasn't about to be in the same position and choose differently. So I was like, yep, nope, child again over career. Plus, John was still little, because when I had to make that decision in the army, John was a newborn. Like, he wasn't even 1. And when I was faced with that decision again, with education, John was 5. So he still, like, needed me for everything. And I was, not about to choose a job over my child. A career. It wasn't a job. It was, education for me was a career, not a job. Not just a job. And, after that, I did little jobs. I worked at Amazon, I worked at a law firm, and I eventually decided to go back to college because I developed in the last 8 years. I've always loved science, but I developed a passion for neuroscience and neurology in the past 7 or 8 years. And I realized that was an option at the community college where I'd done my education stuff. Where I was following the education degree. So I changed majors and I started enrolling in classes for neuroscience. Oh no, my sparkly spot went away. And I love neuroscience, but it's definitely an in-person discipline, at least for me. There may be people that can do it online, but I am not those people. Oh, I guess that was another moment in life where I had to choose. It kind of was career or parenting, because I needed to finish the education to follow the career path. I was going to do the associates in neuroscience and then apply probably to UPenn, University of Pennsylvania, to complete the bachelor's, because my ultimate goal was to become a research fellow in neuroscience at the research hospital part of University of Pennsylvania, because they have some pretty interesting neurology and neuroscience research going on there. Research universities are pretty great if you're into research, which I am. And I guess essentially I was faced with career or parenting again. And since John's not an adult yet, parenting still wins out.
How do you know I'm not an adult?
I'm not going to answer that question because you're just being ridiculous.
You are.
I literally have to make your food, even though you know how to.
There are people older than you that see you just have.
I literally just talked about your food.
And their parents have to put up.
Yeah, well, those people have issues. You should know how to.
Standard American life.
But anyways. So then after neuroscience, I switched now to essentially what is a liberal arts degree. So credit-wise, it's ridiculous. Because I also did concurrent options in high school, so even when I started college, full-time enrollment, I was already bringing over multiple credits because I was doing concurrent options in high school and taking AP classes, which if you get a 4 or a 5 on your AP exams, it counts as college credits. So I was bringing over, I think I brought in, my nose is itchy. I think when I started college full time, I brought in 6 or 7 credits. Yeah, I think it was 6 or 7. Because junior and senior year in college, I was in a lot of accelerated classes, AP classes, and honors. but not math. I was not in any kind of advanced math. I was a math struggler.
What do you think of statistics?
No, I love statistics. It's a different kind of math.
Okay, but it is a type of math.
It is a type of math, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's a social math, because it shows a lot of the habits of humans and the habits of numbers rather than... It may not make sense to other people, but it makes sense in my brain. I can stats all day, but like algebra is a struggle for me.
Algebraic equation.
Geometry is a bit of a struggle. Not as much, but it's a bit. But stats? And I don't know what it is about statistics. Statistics, there are parts of statistics that are really easy, that are really like intuitive, but all of stats isn't easy. There's a lot of parts in stats that is pretty hard, but I love statistics. It's my jam. I love taking stats. I don't think I love it enough to focus on it as a career field, though. So there is that. But like elementary statistics, I love that class. I also had a great professor, though, so that makes a big difference. Oh, and another reason why I have so many credits all together is because since I'm carrying credits from so many different institutions, there would be classes that don't transfer even though it's the same class. So like public speaking, I had to take multiple times because like, was it my first college had like or my second college, one of my colleges had claimed that they had an outstanding balance, even though it wouldn't have been the first one. It would have had to be like the second, like the third or fourth college that I was enrolled in. They were saying I had an outstanding balance and they wouldn't release my transcripts. But the VA is the one who had paid for my tuition, so I knew that wasn't actually the case. So I never put any effort into getting that taken care of. But since those credits didn't transfer because I couldn't get the transcript, I had to retake those classes, which included like, whatchamacallit? Oh, I gotta do this part first. Which included like English Comp 1 and 2, so I had to retake those. Because the previous college was like, no, you owe us $7,000. I'm like, no, I don't. Like, the VA paid for my schooling. I owe you nothing. And I verified with the school. I verified with the VA. They cut the check. So the school messed something up. And I was just like, you know what? I'm not even that concerned. I'll just retake these classes. And, alright, hurry up before it turns red completely. So English Comp, I had to retake because the issues with transferring. Oh, I have to do something over here. I forgot. The public speaking I've had to take like 3 times, and I've never failed it. I've always excelled at it, obviously. But from when I was doing business administration, what I got was professional. The title, I don't remember the title exactly, but essentially it was like public speaking for professionals, because it was business administration. So it made sense to take not just like a regular generic public speaking class, but I took the professional public speaking. And when I came to my community college, they were like, well, I mean, it's not the same thing. I'm like, it's speech. It is speech. It is public speaking, and in some places the class is just called speech. And I was fairly frustrated with that one, because I'm like, it's the same thing. You just want it generic public speaking, and this is public speaking in a professional setting. Like, they're not that different. Actually, public speaking in a professional setting is probably higher tier than regular public speaking. But they wouldn't accept it as an equivalent exchange, like an equivalent class, so I had to take that again. That's the issue with transferring from one school to another school. Not only am I changing majors a lot, but I'm also changing institutions. And when you change institutions, there are a lot of classes that don't transfer over. Just because they're called something different, even if the context of the class is basically the same. But, you know, that's life. I'm fine with it. I love school. I once told my brother, this must have been like 6 or 7 years ago. My brother was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, I want to be a student. Like, if I could figure out a way to finance college for the rest of my life that wasn't debt, like not debt financing, but like actually have school paid for the rest of my life, I would be a career student. And every time I finish a degree program, I would just move on to the next one, because I love being in college. I love being in school. I love learning new things. So it wouldn't be like just randomly taking things that are really close to each other, so I'm not learning anything new. I'd be like changing major. I'd be like this degree program, and then the next degree program is very different, and just gaining so much knowledge. But I love learning, so like I just told him, I'm like, if I could do it in a responsible fashion, I would be a student for the rest of my life. That is what I want to do when I grow up. That is the career I want to have. I want to be a career student. All of the fertilizers. I'm all out of fertilizer. Nose is itchy. But anyways, I don't mind typing up papers. But I also have like specific strategies that help me do it better, because well, actually, I'm just a weirdo. Because when I have all topics, I'm a weirdo, but it's fine. I will literally just sit down and have a topic. It's very hard for me to do topics that I disdain, but I can do papers easily on things that I am mildly interested in, highly interested in, and meh about. Now, if I have utter disdain for a topic, or just like, oh god, this is like, it's harder. But essentially what I end up doing is I just think up, like I just formulate almost on the spot the bulk of what the papers are in my mind. But since I don't have all of the information that would bulk it up immediately accessible in my mind, I'll have markers. So I'll have essentially like mile markers in my mind when I'm writing the entire paper in my mind. And they'll be like, it'll just be like a note to myself in my mind: research this to build it out, or research this for support. And I'm it's weird. Like, it's just, now that I'm saying, it's so normal to me, but now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, that's kind of weird. Because I just like formulate the entire paper in my mind, and also the parts that I need extra help with, because I don't remember like the exact reference, or I need some supporting information. I didn't got you. Some of these deer and chappas over here, I hit them one time and they go down, and sometimes I hit them and they just run away. I need to upgrade my bow and my arrowheads. But I need to do more hunting for that. How much more hunting do I need to get the next prompt to talk? Oh, not that much. See, there we go. Got one. Ah, the praying mantis disappeared. Oh, it's right at my feet, that's why. There's just a third bomb, just to be safe. If I get the headshots, it seems to get them. But the headshots, I'm not that great at them. I think if I adjust the sensitivity on my remote, it might make it easier. I don't know if it's ideal to do that though, because it might make other things a little bit harder. Let's get a moment. So, but I'm excited now because even though it's essentially a liberal arts degree, like I just need the piece of paper to pull it all together so I'm more marketable, because we're currently in a situation, I haven't been doing quests really because I've been playing for the last, 3 days offline. I tend to leave the quests for when I'm live streaming, so I've just kind of been ignoring the quests and just like grinding on buying recipes, getting my levels up, my skill levels up so that I could buy more recipes. Teddy said there was an issue with one of my links. Let me give it a look. Let's see if I can fix it. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I just copied it and pasted it onto the browser and it worked. Let me click on it pop into the Discord and check it out. The link is working in the Discord chat. Let me check out the other chats. It's working on the Kick chat. I don't need to have Kick chat out because Kick's not working. It's working for me on the, yeah, it's working for me everywhere actually. Oh, processing the donation. Okay, that is different. I don't know how I would fix that because let's go. That's a Streamlabs thing, and tip settings. Tip method, PayPal, tip page design, your content USD, minimum tip, maximum tip, tipping presets, no current presets, preferred lingo is donation, tip leaderboard, don't know where. Design, use, I mean, it's still hard to see. I don't see where I could, tip settings. Give your viewers the option to automatically tip for the same amount every month. vanity settings, pro settings, allow pro features, allow tip effects. Yeah, I don't see where the issue could be unless it really just needs me, because I added my PayPal as the place to receive tips because my PayPal account is PayPal business, and since that would be like a business transaction, the actual transaction. I don't know what my option. I think for security reason, credit card donations are only available to verified accounts. Please click anywhere on this message for more details. Yeah, I can't add a. I have PayPal integration in it, so I don't really know what the issue is. I'm gonna have to call or text with customer support then for Streamlabs to figure that out, like what the issue is. Because from my end, when I look at everything to do with tips on the Streamlabs website, everything looks like it's fine, like it's working. And the link is working. So it's weird that it's having issues. Apologies to everyone that we just hadn't realized that this was a problem. No, that's the wrong button. Come back up. Okay, so let's try this here real quick. Okay, let's try it with the credit card. Let's just go here. Can I just, why are you being so annoying? Okay, there was an error processing this donation. Something went wrong. Huh. I think might have to... I think we might have to wait because it might be... No, I'm not verified yet, so you can't do it with credit card. I can only receive it through PayPal. You can make it any way you want. You, as a person who does a donation, can make it any way you want. I can only receive it as a PayPal payment. But I don't think the issue is with the form of payment of the person who wants to donate or even the receiving thing. It's just having an error in general. So that might just be part of the internet being wonky. Because even like Kick is still not working. Actually, if I go to if we go to down detector, all right, so we want Streamlabs. If I go to down detector, Yeah, Streamlabs isn't even coming up on. So there must be an issue with the way I'm typing it. Hold on. Maybe they don't track Streamlabs. As of right now, it seems like Facebook has gotten better. Instagram is still struggling. Facebook Messenger has gotten better on its outages. Google is getting towards better. Honeywell, good thing I don't use them. Gmail is getting towards better. Spectrum is a hot mess. Verizon is still struggling. AT&T seems to be leveling out and no longer like getting to the point of not struggling with outages right now. T-Mobile is still a little struggling. YouTube has normaled out. X has normaled out. Amazon is still struggling. Xfinity is kind of still struggling. Steam is having some hiccups. Microsoft seems to always be trash. Microsoft Teams seems to still be trash. DoorDash never had an issue with this whole internet hiccuping thing. OpenAI is struggling. Apple support is struggling. Discord got fixed. Amazon, again, still struggling. TikTok is still struggling a little bit. Oculus is still struggling a little bit. Coinbase is having a hard time. WhatsApp is still, having hiccups. Reddit is having hiccups. Spotify is having hiccups. Destiny is struggling. PayPal is struggling. Xbox Live is still struggling with outages. Hulu is still struggling with the outages. Snapchat is almost figured it out. Roblox didn't really have an issue. Cricket still kind of struggling a little bit. Zoom is struggling. EA still struggling with it. Microsoft Store, another Microsoft product that is still struggling with the internet. So those are just some major websites that are still having issues right now with outages and stuff. So it might actually be due to the fact that PayPal itself seems to be having still having struggles. Their most recent outage issue with their server was at 12:37 p.m. local time. So it might actually be because of the fact that I'm not verified in the way that Streamlabs needs me to be able to have donation payouts go to a credit card. I only have it set up for PayPal, and PayPal is currently struggling with the wonky internet issues that are plaguing so many people today. So it might actually just be a PayPal issue.
The internet across the world is bad.
Yes, the internet across the world is actually having issues. But it's not the internet, it's like programs on the internet are having issues. That's why I think that it's, why you, oh my god, don't run at it. See, this is one of the things that's annoying about a multiplayer kind of open world thing. Like, you see me over here chasing after this creature, and I'm going very slow and very cautious so that I can actually catch it. And then you're just gonna run up on it like that. Like, the game should have already shown you that these animals are quite sensitive to being run up on. And you're gonna also snipe somebody's kill. Not that it matters, because like as long as it's dead, we're both gonna get the loot, thanks to the most recent update. But like, if you see me working on an animal, why are you just going to like scare it? Like, you're just gonna run up on it, like no tact at all. But anyways, were you just checking to check, or did you want to give me a donation? I can't do anything with it because I'm here alone. And I don't have any dispel arrows. This would just be a waste, but I'm here, so I'm gonna shoot it anyway. Because why not? I'm here anyways. Bye! Pretty glittery. It didn't disappear. It's still there. Ah, teleportation. Where did it go? Ah, teleportation ruined it. Oh, there it is. Did it disappear or is it running back? It's running back. Oh, that person got it. Yay, level 7! And now his little text box speech bubble. His little speech bubble lit up. Yay! Where is he? How far away is he? Oh, he's really far away. Where is he? Let's look at the map. On the map, on the map, on the map. There's a place you gotta go. Well, I can get you there. I know on the map. On the map, on the map, on the map. There's a place you gotta get. I can get you there, I bet. I'm the map. He's getting ready to go into town, isn't he? What time is it in game? 5:08 a.m. Would I be better served by... You know, I actually don't even know if this is useful for me because I don't know at what level I get to upgrade any of the hunting stuff yet. Also, the mod in me wanted to make sure it was working correctly. Okay, I will test again next stream then. Both we wanted to surprise you. Surprise ruined. Stupid internet. Ah, thank you. That would have been exciting, actually, to tell you the truth. That would have been really exciting because I don't know what it looks like what the animations would be, or if it does anything on stream. Because it is a Streamlabs link and product, and I have it activated, then I don't know if there's anything special that happens on the stream, or it'd be like, you received a donation. That'd be kind of cool. Like, yeah. Well, if it's gonna be wonky, maybe I should start just accepting donations on Cash App. The only reason I haven't tried to do that is because I'm doing this as a job, and I have it under my LLC as a job, so I don't really use Cash App though. I was gonna say, because Cash App is I have it set up as a personal product for myself. Like, I don't want to change it into a business one, and if I leave it personal, then it's kind of like not as easy for tracking purposes, for tracking and tax purposes. And I'm one of those weird people that tries to be so transparent even with the IRS. But I also know that I do have shortcomings when it comes to memory, so I realize that it's a weakness of mine, and so then there's a high likelihood, especially this early in the year, that if I had something for the business that came in a matter or fashion that is more personal and social, by the time tax time comes around next year, I'll forget. Not forget that I received it, but forget that I need to put it under business income.
Speak quickly.
Stop having such an attitude, my guy. You're here staring off into the nothingness. Oh no, the only things I'm interested in are these two. I want an exquisite bow, and you need me to be level 10, level 9 for that? I just finally made it to level 7. Hunting tracking allows you to track rare creatures for 15 minutes. That's kind of nice. But nothing that I actually need is available at my current level. So I just leveled up my hunting almost for nothing. Not for nothing, period, because obviously it's great that I'm closer to the level that I do actually need to be to get any kind of upgrade, but I'm still 2 whole levels away. Do you have any idea the level of grinding that I'm gonna have to do in... If I'm in Bahari Bay, I have to do a lot of running around after wildlife because it's multi-shot. Like, I don't kill them one shot, one kill, unless I get a headshot, which don't happen that often. It's kind of annoying because I don't even know how long it would take me to upgrade if I keep hunting in my area. I don't know how much time... Okay, here are the things that I am calculating. If I go to Kalima and hunt there, where everything is one shot, one kill with my current bow and arrow, how long is it going to take for that to gain me enough experience to get to level 9? They are trying to pass a law that if you receive money on Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, etc., $600 or more, you got to pay taxes on it. It used to be $20,000. It actually kind of makes sense though. To me, it makes sense because tax-wise, the threshold for having to file taxes is an income of $500. So like if you are a freelancer or whatever, like if you're just, even if you're just a kid doing odd jobs and you're getting paid at a place, like, or you make like a 1099 kind of job, like let's say your kid gets a little hometown modeling gig or something and it's like $400, that will more than likely fall into a 1099 kind of position. They're not going to put your kid on a W-2 for a one-time modeling shoot. So let's say, you know, your kid gets that and it's $400. You're like, okay, cool, you gain $400. Here, go spend it, or let's put it in your car. Whatever you want to do with it doesn't matter. But once you hit 500, that's when you have to start declaring it for tax purposes. So I'm actually surprised that it was 20,000 at any time. It feels counter to what the tax code is kind of set up for, dictated, as far as the income that you have to declare. And for whatever reason, if you're receiving $20,000 Cash App, Zelle, or whatever, like it's weird that it was at $20,000 at all. It might have gone up to $600, the threshold for requirement to declare your income, your non-W-2 income, but yeah, that's pretty standard. Like if you make that on like a cash or 1099 kind of way, since you're kind of, but I mean, it's also a trust system because especially when it comes to cash, because like you'll have a lot of, for example, like waiters and waitresses that don't declare all their tips because it's cash. So they're, you know, if they're cash tips, because cash isn't tracked as well as digital transactions. If you think about it, it's probably one of the reasons why the economy is trying to move, the government's trying to make a move towards more digital kind of currency situation, because you can track things better. You can't track cash as well. It's kind of an honor system when it comes to cash. Can you just stop moving? Dude, like... Two shots. Gotta hit that third one before it gets spooked. Oh, I'm out of arrows. Great. How annoying. Yeah, but so Teddy says because most people don't use it for business purposes. But regardless of whether it's business or however it is that you get the money, you're technically by law supposed to, you're responsible for it. Because like, let's say you have an inheritance, for example, that's not exactly a business purpose or a business kind of situation, but you're supposed to report it so that you pay taxes on it. You know, it's a personal choice whether you're going to do it or not, because a lot of things are like untracked, if it's like cash or gift cards and things like that. Oh right, I forgot I don't have arrows. Gosh, my brain thinks a million times faster than I can type. It's like we are ordering for lunch at work, I'll send chip in, I'll send you money through Cash App. I am confused. Are you offering to send me money through Cash App, or are you making an example scenario of what would happen when it's like Cash App? When people are using I am confusion. If it's a reference to a scenario of when people would use Cash App in a situation that you don't necessarily find yourself being responsible for tax implications, yes, I can see how that would be the case. How that would make sense. But I think once you get, I think the thresholds for something like Cash App, Zelle, or anything like that should probably be, oh god, it's so problematic. Because here's the thing that it just occurred to me, because you know, brain going 1,000 miles a minute. I was initially going to say the threshold should be about $1,000, because are you really going to be doing $1,000 worth of, oh, I'll Cash App you back for this meal? But then it occurred to me that there are some situations where you're like lending a family member or friend money, and it's not income for either one of you. It's just like, you have, let's say you have an emergency fund and you have savings, and you have someone that you trust financially, whether that's a friend or whether that's a colleague or whether that's a family member, like you trust them to pay you back. So you lend them money that you've already dealt with its tax implications. Let's say it's in a high yield savings and your sister has a blowout and needs to get, because of, you know, physics, only one tire blew out, but you have to end up replacing like 2 or 3 of them. She ends up having to replace 3 of them, which at that point you might as well replace all 4 of them, because mechanics being the way that it is, if you're going to change one front tire, you should really change out both front tires, because otherwise the wear and the nivelado is going to be unleveled, and that's going to affect the other tires more quickly. So mechanics recommend, and it's not just to make money, it's actually what they teach them in school, that if you have a problem with one tire, I don't have arrows, I need to go home, I keep forgetting I don't have arrows, let me just go home because I don't have arrows. If you have to replace one tire, you should probably replace the 2 tires. Like if it's a front tire, you should replace both. If it's a back tire, you should replace both back tires. And so let's say that's the situation. The 3 tires have issues, 1 has a blowout, 2 have excessive wear because the vehicle went off it went crazy from the 1 blowout, and it affected 2 other tires. So now you have to replace 3, but ideally you replace 4 for the longevity of the other tires and your vehicle. So, do I have any food? I do have food. So then, okay, you have your, I don't know why I have to develop the scenario so much, but that's just me. That's just how it goes over here. So, okay, so the scenario continues. So, it's not just 1 tire. She has to replace all 4. So you Cash App her, Zelle her, or whatever, $1,000 so that she can get all the tires replaced and all the work done at the mechanic shop. And then next payday comes around and she's like, thank you so much for helping me out right in the moment where I needed it. Here's your $1,000 back. It becomes problematic in a situation like that because you at some point already paid the tax implications for the money you had in your savings account. or that you had in savings, and you're lending it to someone that you trust to pay you back. So there's already a transaction of them receiving it. So like you send them $1,000 to solve this issue. If there's a tax implication on that now, it's like an issue in the sense that now this person, your trusted person, is going to have to pay taxes on what you're lending them, and then when they pay you back, it's going to cause you another tax implication. So whatever the percentage is on that really is going to end up depending on your tax bracket. So it's not even a fixed amount where you could say, oh, they're going to charge me $10 for every 1,000, because your tax implication on money that they're now going to consider income is totally dependent on what your tax bracket is, which kind of sucks, because if your tax bracket is a little bit higher, and let's say you pay taxes at a rate of 30%, if the other person didn't have an emergency fund, let's assume that their tax bracket is a little bit lower and they don't have the kind of fluidity of their income to build up that savings. Let's call it they're at a tax bracket of about 20%. So that $1,000 is going to get charged to your trusted person. They're going to get charged 20% when they receive that, which hopefully still leaves enough money for the repair. So they get 800. Am I doing the math right? I'm great with concepts, I'm not great with numbers. So let me double check. $1,000 lent out, a tax implication of 20%. It is $200. That means that free and clear, the other person has access to $800. They might have $1,000 to use, but when tax time comes and everything gets pulled together, they will have a $200 tax implication on having received that money. And then they send it back to you and you happen to make more money, so you get taxed at a 30% interest rate. And that means even though they sent you back $1,000, you're going to have a $300 tax implication, so you only get back $700 of that free and clear tax implications. Even though whenever you receive the money, whether if it was from a job or anything, you've already paid taxes on it when you received it initially. So now you're going to pay taxes on it again. And I see where that could be an issue, because initially when Teddy said that about Zelle's, it's Cash App, Zelle, and etc., you're gonna have to pay taxes on it. Initially I was like, oh, that makes sense, because that way people can't try to get around tax code. But the thing about like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, and Cash App is that a lot of people actually use it to do little microtransactions like that. Like, oh, paying you back for food that, you took the bill and then I'm paying you back my portion. Or, oh, you need help and I can help you, so let me send you this money and then you just give it back to me as soon as you're able to. And it was a really convenient way to move money when you needed to move money quickly to, like, help a family member out, or instead of trying to be at a restaurant and tell the waitress to split the bill this way, or put these items on this person's bill and this item on that person's bill. It was very helpful in those types of situations. But now if it's going to be $600, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be $600 in one transaction, it's probably going to be like the accumulation of all your transactions in the year adding up to that. Oh, that's going to be so messy. Because now they're taxing you on so many, so they're taxing you so much on money that's already been taxed. Because if you have money, unless you're a 1099 and you haven't yet paid your taxes, but if you're an average American and you're a W-2 worker, you get taxes taken out before you get your money, before you get your paycheck. So anything that you set aside into a savings accounting, like case of emergency or whatever, planning for a vacation, whatever, you received it and it already had a tax implication. Like, they already took their money. But if now moving that money around is also going to have another tax implication, then you're paying the government multiple times. But here's the thing about that. You're paying taxes on your income, but you're also paying taxes on your purchases. So like, like America, yeah, SMH. I agree, Teddy, because think about, so frustrating. Let me try to organize my thoughts so I could make a coherent statement. I'm a W-2 employee. I receive $1,000. It's already taxed. Like $1,000 is what I get for the week after taxes, right? Okay, cool beans. Now, let's say I also have an interest in supporting freelancers that are like on platforms like this. I have a creator that I enjoy and I want to support them. So from this $1,000 that's already been taxed, I then, let's say, go on Teddy's Twitch stream and I'm like, I love what you're doing, I want you to keep doing it, I want to support you, here's $1,000. Twitch is going to take their cut because Twitch has to pay their taxes. But then also, Teddy is going to have to pay his taxes on his own as a freelancer or a 1099 type of situation. He's going to have to pay taxes on what he receives. So the money was taxed before it got to me. It's taxed before it gets to me. I send it to Twitch because I want to support Teddy's Twitch channel. So Twitch takes their cut, which includes their tax implications for being a processor of these finances. And Twitch is going to pay taxes on the portion that they keep. And then Teddy is going to have to pay taxes on whatever he receives. So we've already paid taxes 3 times on the same amount, on the same piece of money. Then Teddy uses that money to go and buy groceries for whatever's left over. I don't remember the percentages for what Twitch keeps. I think Twitch keeps 30%, which means that Teddy will end up with 70 from that transaction, not for the entire year. Let's assume for the entire year he's making enough money with a high enough tax implication. He's making at least $500 or $600, whatever it is right now. So he's going to have to file taxes on his freelance self-employed income. He's going to have to pay taxes on it eventually. But he takes what he receives from Twitch, let's say it's $70, he goes and does groceries for the week with those $70, and he's going to have to pay taxes at the supermarket when he buys those groceries. So now, in this life cycle of this money, I had to pay taxes on my income. From what I receive that it's already been taxed, it is going to pass through Twitch, who is going to keep their portion and have to pay taxes on it. And what's left over goes to Teddy, and he is going to have to pay taxes on his income taxes when he files them as a, self-employed or freelance person, and then also pay taxes when he spends the money, whether he buys groceries or whether he buys clothes or shoes, whatever it is. So right now, this money that I made has paid taxes for me, taxes at Twitch's level, personal taxes at Teddy's level, but then also taxes when he makes any purchase. And our infrastructure is crumbling. And our schools, our public schools, are kind of hot trash dumpster fire. And one string of finances literally just paid taxes 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And you don't even know if it turns out to be more than that, because if he uses those $70 to buy more than one thing, let's say he doesn't consume a lot because he's a single person, so he spends like 40 on food and then 30 on clothes. He's gonna pay taxes at the food place, and he's gonna pay taxes at the clothing place, and then the food place, let's say he just buys groceries. He goes and buys groceries, and he has to pay taxes on the groceries. And then the grocery store is going to have to pay taxes on that. Then he goes and spends the $70 at the grocery store. Whatever the tax rate is. I'm in Pennsylvania, the tax rate is 6% for food, if I'm not mistaken. It might be 8. Let's calculate it at 6. So he has $70. What is 6%? Well, no, because that's not how it would go. It's like 6%. he has to spend less than 70. It adds, let's say it adds up to 70 with 6%, because that's how it's, we're counting on this 70. This is all we're spending. And then the grocery store, so he's actually buying less than $70 of groceries. And then he's getting taxed on that. And then the grocery store is going to get taxed, obviously on everything that they make, but it's going to get taxed. And it's, so like what they receive from Teddy is also going to get taxed again. So now we're actually at 5. So I got taxed to receive my paycheck. Twitch takes their portion and they get taxed on it. They convenience / processing fee and all the other things. So Twitch is going to get taxed on money that was already taxed when I received it. So Twitch is going to get taxed. Teddy is going to get taxed on it, on his personal income tax. He's going to get taxed on whatever purchase he makes with that money. And then the place that he made a purchase at is also going to get taxed on that same $100. Because that same money was taxed when I received it. It's going to get taxed on the cut of it that Twitch keeps. It's going to get taxed on the cut of it that Teddy keeps. It's going to get taxed at... Teddy's going to get taxed for it twice, because he's going to get taxed as income and he's going to get taxed when he makes a purchase. And then the place he makes a purchase at is also going to get taxed on that money. And our infrastructure is trash. It's crazy. The levels at which we get screwed and somebody gets rich is ridiculous. I just don't understand where all that tax money goes, because our schools are subpar, our roads are crumbling, our infrastructure and older buildings are also crumbling, and like homelessness is at an all-time high. We have entirely too many children in this country that are like going hungry and homeless, living out of like vehicles and hotels and stuff, in consideration of how much our money gets taxed, which goes back to the government. There's like, how are they making so much money off of us, and yet somehow our country is struggling so bad. Healthcare is ridiculously expensive. It's not very great. It's not very comprehensive. And yet somehow, the money is getting taxed so much. So these are the things that I think about, and I wonder if a lot of people realize that this is the situation, and that when they talk about, oh, raising or lowering taxes, or tax this or tax that, like tax the rich, or tax the corporations, like the level at which our money is taxed, changing one thing, one singular cog in that machine, isn't actually going to do much. It's a band-aid that's just going to make people think that things are happening. Progress is happening. And yet we have such a ridiculous system. And then people think it's crazy when there are states that don't have like sales tax. They're like, oh my God, that's so crazy. It's like, well, is it though? Because they're kind of just admitting that our system is crazy. I don't know how other countries' systems are, but finances and the economy really, like, I understand why a lot of people choose to be ignorant, because it's an abyss. And that is why there's that saying, like, if you stare long enough into the abyss stares back. And the concept of the abyss staring back is really a fear thing. Like, oh, you're gonna, it's frightful to have the abyss, like the darkness, look back at you. But the thing about why that's a thing, it's like, because if you start going down the rabbit hole, you're just like, oh, this is terrible. And then it's very easy to be stuck in this kind of like cycle of hopelessness because of it. Because it's like, what do you even do? There's a certain sense of what do you even do about it? And like, why even bother? I understand why a lot of people feel hopeless. I'm kind of just like, whatever, it's trash. That's it. This is the game board and I'm just living in it. And you just gotta try to find them loopholes. Legal loopholes, because if it wasn't a legal loophole, I would not feel good about it. But that's just me. I'm not judging anybody else's choices. I'm just saying I personally would not feel well about it. And it would just drag me down mentally and take up free real estate in my mind. And then I would have this weird association of like everything that's going wrong is because you cheated or lied in this regard. Even if it's like a tiny cheat or lie or like it would get me. I need iron bars. I wonder how much money the average person actually gets in hand. I wonder how much money isn't taxed. At the end of a year, I wonder how much money in circulation is not severely taxed. How much money is just free and clear in general for like the country? Probably zero. Considering how much a little bit of money is taxed. Because also, whatever company paid me and took out my individual income taxes, they also had to pay taxes as an entity. So there was an added location where I didn't talk, there was an added layer of tax paying that I didn't account for in that whole diatribe that I just went through. So the company that I work for was taxed as an entity. I was income taxed as a person. The money that I donated was taxed. The portion that Twitch keeps would get taxed, and that as an entity, and then the portion that Teddy keeps as a freelancer or self-employed person would get taxed on a personal level. Then it would get taxed when he makes a purchase. The company at which he made the purchase is also going to get taxed as an entity. So that's my employer got taxed, I got taxed, Twitch will get taxed, Teddy will get personal taxed and purchase tax, and the place where he purchases is also going to get taxed. We're at 6 levels of taxation already. It's crazy. I need iron. Nobody has iron. Come on. And then they want people to grow up. Like, why are people gonna want to grow up? Nobody's gonna want to grow up in that standard. Like, why? That sounds terrible. But when you break it down like that, you could really start to realize why so many people, so many adults are like, I don't want to grow up. Like, why? Once they reach adulthood and start to kind of unfurl all the layers of this kind of sucks and kind of sucks a lot, you can really start to see how logically so many people just have what others would like to call like arrested development or whatever. And it's like, look, it's kind of sucky to grow up and have to take on all these responsibilities and come to the point of realizing all of this basura that you have to deal with as an adult. Knowing kind of sucks, and I could see why people will have a propensity for turning a blind eye and just ignoring it, because it's really frustrating if you start thinking about it. I'm not frustrated by it. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm just like, what else? This is where I live right now. Do the best I can inside of the game board that is given. Alright, that's gonna be about 28 minutes. I don't have a lot of money, do I? Short. I have 507.
I don't think
And I need more arrows, so I kind of don't even want to. I'm not short for. I'm pretty tall for a girl. But money-wise, in game, I'm a little limited. Actually, you know what? I could just claim this back. Take this back and put it into the other smelter. Oh wait, are you still here? No, you're not doing anything yet. Make me some iron bars. Thank you. Are any seeds ready? Nope, not yet. Do I have any worms ready? Nope, not yet. Worms ready? Nope, not yet. Man, glowworms are rough. I want more glowworms, but they take forever. And I still don't have fishy coins, so I can't exactly buy them. It would appear as if fishy coins are really hard to get, so I wouldn't even want to waste them on glowworms when I know that eventually I'll be able to make glowworms. Fishies. Fishing. Catfish. I was able to tell right before I caught it because it had whiskers. Whiskers. A mustache and whispers. Whiskers. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. I'm loving it. I'm really glad that this is actually still working. Palia is actually still working. Cause it already has like iffy servers, so it would suck if it like wasn't working either. Cause you wouldn't be able to play it at all if like the servers weren't working. You know, I haven't figured out the bot situation for putting these into the chat at certain intervals. I need to remember to do that. I should take my meds before it gets any later though. If it gets too late in the day, it's not recommendable for me at least. I mean, everybody has a different metabolic system, so, and by a different, it's the same mechanics. It's just that some people metabolize medicines at different rates for whatever reason. There's just slight variations on the individual. And if I take my Adderall a little bit too late, I won't be able to sleep. Yeah, my brain will just be like, oh, okay, we're just alive, or we're just awake. Sleep is for chumps. And I don't want that because I like sleep. I quite enjoy sleep.
I don't. I'm mostly tired.
No, I love sleep. But you would do what? I don't know where exactly that message, or what exactly that message refers to. Do what? I really need to go take my meds. This dog is so cool. He's just walking around. He's just like, well, do whatever I want, when I want. I'll go back to my master eventually. Oh, I'm always putting it into the chat. Well, it's a little bit easier for me, Teddy, because I have Social Stream Ninja. I just put it into the Social Stream Ninja and it populates it into all of the chats. For you, you'd have to individually put it into every single chat. So even though it's doable, it's just a lot easier. Or are you talking about making the bot? No, if you can figure out a bot for me for Social Stream Ninja, I'll definitely use it. Because that would help. I'd set it up to like put that information in like every 30 minutes. If you're talking about the bot and you can figure out the bot situation on Social Stream Ninja so that It doesn't have to be individual and all this extra work that I'm not going to like keep track of. I would greatly appreciate it. I have 12 arrowheads. Once I use them all, I'm going to teleport home, and hopefully I'll have enough iron bars to make more arrows and level up my hunting. See, this is what I mean. If you look at my little hunting thing at the top over there, top left-hand corner, it's not going up very much. Granted, I've only shot, well, actually no, I think I had some deer too, but or have I only shot the chapas? Let me go get some deer and see if that does more. It's gonna require a lot of grinding for me to hit that level 9 on... Wait, why weren't there... There's no upgraded arrowheads. That should be a thing. Like, level 8 should give you, like, a higher tiered arrowhead, and then level 9 gives you the higher tiered bow. What are you doing? Shouldn't you be doing school right now, sir? John, you're really getting on my last nerve. Your breaks are 10 to 15 minutes unless it's lunch break. I shouldn't have to treat you like you're 5 years old and tell you every single moment of every single day when you have school, why are you not back at doing your classes? School.
I unfortunately am unable to at the moment.
Do you want me to uninstall that game from your computer?
What do you mean? I can.
Mom life, yeah. That's why I muted the microphone. I had to have a talk with him, and I didn't want him to feel any type of way my talking with him being all on live stream. Like,
I unfortunately cannot stop this.
okay. How long is that gonna take? I'm gonna give you 5 minutes, and if it's not done in 5 minutes, you escape out of it.
But then
Control Alt Delete if that's what you have to do.
But then I'll lose the problem.
Are you saving the world right now? Are you doing anything majorly pertinent that you're not going to be able to repeat later on in the day?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not.
There's a lot of school, so there's a chance I might not be able to.
John, it is a computer game. You can just redo the work. You could just redo the game.
It's a long time to do this.
Well, that would just be a consequence of you not doing what you're supposed to do. Life has consequences. Sometimes you do an action and the reaction is really nice. And sometimes you do an action and the reaction is kind of trash. That is just life. That's why you have to be conscious of all the choices that you make. Well, my son is almost 13, so it tracks. What time is it right now? It's 1:56. I will give you until 2:01. If it hasn't finished or gotten to a save point by then, you're just gonna have to scrap it and start over from zero.
It takes a long time to do this.
You shouldn't have started doing it. If it takes that long and you know your breaks are only 15 minutes, why would you start doing something that takes longer than 15 minutes?
It takes a while to do. And I might not be able to later.
Why will you not be able to later?
I told you.
You still have lunchtime.
There's a lot of work.
Lunchtime is an hour. What is this fish? Is this a new fish? Or did I just... Oh, I just didn't recognize it. And anyways, you're not doing anything other than looking at stuff. So how about you minimize that and you go to work on your school?
I can't do that.
Ah, little kids are fun, especially when they say, yeah, 3 going on 30. It's got to be frustrating, but also fun in hindsight. It's probably like super frustrating in the midst of it because you're also having to control your facial expressions and not laugh, because once you laugh, they low-key feel like they won. So you have to hold in your laughter too when they do when they do things that are like, I really want to bust out laughing right now. Like, I really want to bust out laughing right now, but don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. So like in the moment, there's frustration, there's the struggle to not laugh, but in hindsight, most of it is probably hilarious. And then you can laugh at the memory of it. Yeah, I have one of my first cousins, his daughter, and his wife and his daughter came to visit us. And they came from DR and they were visiting. And she's a sweet little girl, but oh my god, she is like, the batteries, like kids have a lot of energy. Like kids have, oh, I've heard her. I've talked to her on the phone. She's a cutie. But I understand that, like kids in general just have more energy. Like their batteries haven't been installed as long. So, they perform better. Maybe let's call it that. Their batteries are younger, so they just perform better. And so in general, kids are more energetic. But there are some kids, it's almost like they came from the factory with 2 batteries. So yeah, that's like a lot. So my cousin's daughter, she is visiting, and it was so chaotic. And she was like super energetic and super hyper, and you know, her mom is a little bit older, so you know, she was kind of like a surprise later in life child. So her mom especially doesn't really have the energy to keep up with her. And I think her mom is probably like 12 years older than me. And this was like 2 years ago. So I was at 35. And I was struggling to keep up with this child. And because I'm more energetic than her mom by comparison, and she was just like everything, it was just like, oh my, I know, she already knew like her mom wasn't going to be down for her shenanigans. It was kind of just going to tell her to calm down and go sit somewhere. So she started noticing that I would actually play along with her. And what was that for? Ay, Dios mío. Like after the first day that she noticed that I would play with her, everything was just like, every single moment was like coming to talk to me like, oh, let's go do this, oh, let's go do this. And I'm like, look, I got more energy than your mom because she's got 12 years on me, but I ain't got that much energy, and I have to energy for my own child as well. So like it got to the point where I was just like, I'm so tired, I want to run away. Like it just really got to the point where I was like, oh my god, I want to run away from my own house. And she's a sweet girl, and I love her. but she has so much energy. And kids are really observant. So like as soon as she realized, oh, this one will play with me, it was like, God, when she wasn't trying to get John to play with her, she was trying to get me to play with her. And like at first it was evened out, but then John got tired quick. He would just want to run away every day. John got tired quick. He was tired by the second day. Like the first day he was getting tired, but like the second day, a couple of hours after we woke up, he was just like tired.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yes. So like he's just like, I know who this is.
It took me a bit, but like, oh.
Like, oh yeah. So John kind of checked out day 2 basically. So around day 2, John checked out. And she would be like, oh, let's do this. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm kind of busy doing this. And so then she'd like ask him a couple more times to do something else. And then he'd be like, no, I don't want to. It was like 2 years ago.
Okay. So yeah, that person.
Yeah, that person. She's like your third cousin. So.
I think, yeah, one time I gave her mom a treat to get the nibble. Then she ate the treat.
Oh God, I didn't remember that. Okay, so John remembers who it is now because since I didn't, for privacy reasons, I didn't use her name. And so then it took John a second to figure out who it was, and then he figured it out. And now he's just telling me a story that her mom ate it, or your cousin ate it. The mom. Oh, that's terrible. So John says that one of the days they were here, he gave the mom, my cousin's wife, a treat to give to the dog, and because of the language barrier, she didn't understand that it was a dog treat, and she like bit into it.
So she ate it.
She ate it? Was it tiny? And she just put it in her mouth?
Like one of the baking shit.
Oh goodness.
Maybe not.
Oh my God. She just ate it. Because it was, he says he thinks it was one of the little bacon treats from,
It was either that or one of the more just like dog shaped ones where it's kind of just.
Oh my God,
Wow.
language barrier thing. Like it just looked like a cracker of some sort. Language barriers. He gave her I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that.
You were doing something else. I've told you like once before, but
I didn't remember that. Oh my God.
you weren't there.
I got to the point where I would tell John, I would be like, go play with your cousin. And he's like, no, you go play with her. I'd be like, John, take a break and go play with your cousin. I remember. Because she'd be like trying to get my attention and trying to get me to play with her. And I was tired. And so I'd just be like, John, take a break from whatever you're doing. Because she would also come and snitch. Because that's something that little kids do a lot. They snitch to get their way. So she would come and be like, you know, I want to play with him, but he doesn't want to play with me. I asked him to play with me. So then I'd be like, John, go play with your cousin.
Might I be of assistance?
And at the time, actually, it might have been like 3 years ago. Because I still had the big pool up. It was 3 summers ago. So not 3 full years, but like 3 summers ago. Because last summer we weren't in the country. The summer before that, I don't think I had put the pool out. Because we've gone last summer I didn't put the pool out. And the summer before that. Wait, did I put the pool out the summer before last? Because I know last summer I didn't put it out because I was like.
You put out the pool when you put it out.
So it was either 2 summers ago or 3 summers ago.
So remember
because I had put because I had the pool out. And we have a big pool. It's like I think it's like 14 by 16 or 14 by 19 feet. And it's how deep is it at the deepest point? Like if you fill it all the way up, I think it's about 5.5 feet
it's
deep.
Somewhere between 4 feet and 5 feet.
Because when I have it filled all the way up, it comes up to like here-ish on me. Yeah, so it's like 5 feet deep. It's like It's like 16 by 19, 19 long ways, 16 feet wide, and then 5 feet to the top fill line. And she was like 4 at the time, so she's also like really slim and tiny. So then once we went to the pool the first time, she loved it, but she was just like, oh, let's go play at the pool. That was the next thing, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm good, I'm done. Because it wasn't like she didn't know how to swim, which is weird because she lives in my hometown and it's like a beach town. So to me, it's always weird people that are from there and don't know how to swim. I realize she's a child, but my family likes to joke that I knew how to swim before I knew how to walk.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
So like I learned how to swim early because like I live in a beach town.
And then there's also I once heard that you went from crawling to running and then to walking.
Yeah. I've done things out of order my whole life. My brother loves to tell me that story because the thing was, I started kind of crawling and I crawled for a short period of time, and then once I started pulling myself up on furniture, which was pretty soon after I started crawling, I didn't walk. I would just be upright and I would start trying to run and then fall. And my brother would my eldest brother, he would try to tell me, like, he loves to tell me the story that he'd just be like, mi amor, camina primero, which means, my love, walk first. Like, you don't even know how to walk, so stop trying to run. And yeah, I didn't listen. He says that I just kept trying to run until I got it. And then I just walked after learning how to run. I did learn the hard way. I crawled, I ran,
I was there. It was pretty fun.
Fun times.
Salutation.
I love stories about when I was little. I wish there was more video stuff like there is now for our kids.
You are done with your face flapping. Yet you are still here.
What level do I have to be to get a better fishing rod for him? Level 9. Okay, so apparently level 9 is the place where you get all of the really fancy stuff.
I guess what I'm going to eat for lunch.
What are you going to eat for lunch?
Probably I'm going to consume some chicken sandwich and an uncooked one.
That's food. It's debatable, but... I wonder if things have gotten better.
No.
With the internet. What is the internet doing? Cursor, get back. Down detector. Oh, things are leveling out. Microsoft is still sucking. Spectrum is trash, man. Amazon Web Service is still struggling, which is not ideal because they actually are the basis of a lot of things. I love how our fat behind America DoorDash didn't have any issues. You'll still be able to get your fatty foods. Oh, and a website called Fanfiction also didn't really have any issues. Tracks. Uber Eats also didn't have any issues reported.
It's the ones where it's funny if it didn't happen to them.
Yeah.
It's like only the ones where it's kind of
Let's see
funny.
what PayPal is doing right now. I don't know, PayPal's still struggling. And so is Venmo, but Venmo is not a PayPal product, so it makes sense. Oh, and Zoom with an X is also having issues, which makes sense because apparently it is also a PayPal product. Is Cash App having issues? Cash App did have issues. interesting day. When I started hearing the news through the live stream that I was watching, that there was issues with the internet, that's when I started looking into it. Because my dad works from home and it's internet based. I went over to him because he's got a 2-monitor setup, but he's in his work environment, so like he doesn't have added windows open because, you know, jobs be tracking stuff like that. And when I realized that there was these issues, I went and I told him, like, hey, by the way, all these issues are happening all over the internet, so like if you notice by chance that your stuff starts having issues, that, you know, this is why. So I had to give him an update so he doesn't.
Entire internet across the universe.
No, it was mostly like lots of apps and websites were having issues. So it essentially is the internet's, because all those apps and websites use the internet. So it came across as if the internet was having issues.
Wait, but why?
I don't know if there's been any publications as to where the issue was. It seems like it is an outage or an issue with the service, the back of these programs, the authentication service that they use, not the forefront of it, but like maybe the program that the authentication process providers use. So like it's really far back in the chain, so it affects a lot of companies. It seems like that was what it was, like an authentication issue. Oh, my school email was able to get back on. Great, so now I can certify my classes. And have the VA pay for my college. I mean, the VA always pays for my college. That's not the issue. It's just that I have to certify mine. Post 9/11 GI Bill, Chapter 33. Branch of the Military Army. Chapter 35 needs... Yeah, no, I don't need to add anything else. Next page. Oh yeah, my student ID. And my course number, ooh, goodness, I don't remember the course number. It's a information systems class. Student planning. Do I have the ingredients to craft any more arrows? Did anybody supply me with my request? Nobody's given me iron bars. Oh my gosh, nobody has iron bars and I don't have any more iron. I only have 50 arrows. Not that 50 arrows isn't a good amount of arrows, but I need to get to level 9 in hunting, so I need a lot more than 50. I should also craft a whole bunch of repair kits because it's going to take a lot of hunting to get up to level 9. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here because I am going to hardcore grind. I mean, I guess I should look. Jenny asked me this earlier and I didn't go into it too deeply. I just said that I wasn't really doing my quests because I was spending a lot of off-stream time. So I have these paper planes. Minjuma has determined the sketches are for some kind of flow-infused planks. However, you are getting pushed to the back. Nope. You reel in a founder's boot while fishing Find its owner. Perhaps you will be rewarded. And the loved one and the key. So I have a lot of quests that I can fulfill, but I didn't feel like it. Didn't feel like it. Okay, information systems. That's the class that I'm taking. Credits 3. Just one. I agree. Submit. Yay, I've submitted my veteran certification. Which means I'll be able to... Should I... Am I able to confirm registration? Yeah. Nope, I can't confirm the registration yet. I gotta give it a while. Gotta give it a little bit of time. But we are close to having a piece of paper that says I am more employable. Even though, like, if you just looked at my transcripts, it'd be like, oh, girl, you're over employable. Oh, goodness. So, what is this doing? This is being weird. Stop it. Stop it. Get out of the full screen. I don't want it. Wait, did the chat come back? Oh no, it's fine. Alright. So I have a lot of missions to do, but I really, really, really want the higher level of, oh, plant 5 wild trees. I don't have the stuff for that. And improve my generosity is getting kind of hard. Because I've been constantly checking for people's requests and they just don't, like, come up. Like, there'll be no requests available every time that I look. I gotta figure out where on earth these pieces of stuff are. But since they're actual main quests for the game, ask Cassian if he'll be home for dinner, and then I need to go back, return to Sifu. Well, I guess I could do that one. That seems pretty easy to at least get something done. Yeah, we could fulfill each other's requests, but you haven't been putting requests any of the times that I've been playing and, like, putting stuff out. You gotta farm for ore? What ore do you need? Wait, do you actually need ore because you need to get up to the level of mining? Are you leveling up your mining, or do you need it for actually making something? Because I might have whatever it is you need if you just actually need the item for making something, but if you actually are just trying to level up your well, I haven't put in too many requests. I'm saying that I've been looking consistently while I've been playing offline, like off stream. I've consistently been looking for anybody's requests just to fulfill them, and it's like every time I look, there's no requests. And this is multiple different times of the day. And the last time I saw a request, it was actually like, I had the item and I went to fill it and somebody had already done it much quicker than me. Oh yeah, but you said that, I understand that. I got that. I understood that part. What I'm saying is that, oh, you have to farm the ore to be able to donate it. Yeah, I haven't been farming that as much. I thought you meant that you needed to do it for yourself as a request. That's why I was asking, because if you needed something that I have in my inventory, you could have put in a request and I could have sent it to you. But what you mean is that you need to mine it to be able to fulfill my request. I just want to have a lot of arrows because I'm going to have to do a lot of hunting. Especially if I end up getting tired of hunting credits, let's call them hunting credits. the hunting EXP not being worth much over here in Kalima, I'm gonna start going to Bahari, and Bahari be messy because sometimes it takes 3 shots for me to get a deer, and sometimes it takes 1. It's rather inconsistent, and as you may have noticed on stream, sometimes I will hit a headshot or a neck shot, and it'll still like make me shoot it multiple times. And then sometimes I'll hit a headshot and it's like poof, instant. Yeah, just tell me what you're gonna put for, because since I'm not at home, I don't actually know what all is in my inventory. I think I have some Pallium. Is it Pallium? Is that what it's called? I have gold too, unprocessed, because I don't think I've bought the recipe for being able to smelt gold. I don't know what the purpose of it would be. I haven't seen any recipe of anything that I want to make that needs gold. I'm sure I'll need it eventually, because otherwise it wouldn't like really be in the game, but I just don't know what it is that needs gold that I care about, you know, doing. Because if it's furniture, like furniture, meh. Furniture is meh. Let's see. From friends, no requests. From party, nothing. From others, nothing. And our community really is just 3 of us, so. I want more coffee, and I need to take my meds. I've been applying for jobs. I've mentioned this. There's one that the last one that I applied for yesterday. Like, I really want it. I really want it, and I'm not gonna give specifics about it, but I'm like really desirous of it. I hope I get it. I mean, if it's in God's plan, obviously. I'd rather do something with God on my, you know, like within God's plan than brute force it and hope that it goes well. But let me tell you, I hope that it fits inside of God's plan, because I really want that job. It would change so many things. I'm right in front of you, waiting. Oh! Gifted. Is that what you needed? I hope that's what you needed. Because it says from others. Actually, hold on, before I gifted. Ah, it wasn't from you. I don't care about others. No, that's rude. Especially for something so expensive. I'll give this, though. That's nothing. I ain't giving no pallium. I'm not that generous. I would give you a pallium bar, but I'm not gonna give some random stranger a pallium bar. They can get it from somebody else. You know how long pallium takes to turn into a pallium bar? Because it's not just the resource. I have a good amount of pallium that I've been able to mine, but it takes like 2 hours to turn it into a pallium bar. Now, I've put in a request for pallium, and I have received it, and I'm very grateful. If I saw somebody else asking for pallium, and I have it in my inventory, I would donate it. But I'm not donating a pallium bar to someone who's some rando on the server, because it's a 2-hour smelting process. Like, I have to have some sort of care for you for me to give that to you. I'd give you a pallium bar if you need it. I don't have silk or ceramic. I don't think I have the recipe for silk, actually. Do I have the recipe for silk? Let's go home and find out. I said I was gonna end. Oh, no. I have to walk home. Is this home? Yes, there's the little home icon. John, what are you doing? Why does it look like that's not where you're looking?
I'm doing this. Explain how. If I'm not doing this, explain how I think I'm about halfway through.
Oh, I don't know, because peripheral vision showed me that you were looking down. That's not the direction in which you were looking, John. I may need glasses to be able to see signs, read signs from very far away, but I don't need glasses to be able to see you when you're like 1 foot away from me. Also, I only have issues seeing letters and words at a distance, not people or structures. Oh gosh. I still want that pillow. You know what, actually, I hope that pillow doesn't end up being a severe disappointment. I still have it in my save for later on Amazon, and I'm gonna be so disappointed if it ends up being like, I don't have the recipe for silk. How do I get the recipe for silk? Who do I buy that from? Is it the furniture girl? Ah, it is the furniture girl. I haven't bothered buying a lot of stuff from her because I know I'm not gonna bother doing a lot with furniture wise until maybe later. Also, happy news, we're getting some traction and a little bit of movements on the YouTube channel. We're up to 941 subs, 2,400 views in the last 28 days. Not too many watch hours, but a good amount of views, so that's nice. I've put out a couple of shorts, and I am hoping to have the focus to put out about 2 or 3 more that I already have in the... Oh, Teddy, look, you're a ghost. Oh, you came back. You came back into existence. Hello and welcome back into existence. Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super happy because I actually came to a realization that, you know, Jenny, how we don't read. Not because we can't, just because we don't. The requirements for monetization, they allegedly made it easier to become monetized on YouTube, which is like a lie. They made it easier. And I hadn't paid enough attention to it. They allegedly took it down to 500 subscribers, but here's the thing about it. Like, monetization unlocking at 500 subscribers? What is that?
We looked at each other at the same time. High-pitched noise.
That's weird. Okay, I'm going to Tish to the furniture place. That's why I came into town. The 500 subscriber monetization thing. It said I got kicked from the party. Maybe my internet is being weird. The internet's been weird all day. So, will I be able to buy it from here, or does it have to be her physically? It has to apparently be here physically. Where is she? Let me check the map. No, she's not in there. And you just glitched through the stairs. Yeah, I gotta find her. Find her on the map. What do I have to do with him? Oh, the mayor. I mean, I'm here. I might as well. I have food in my molar. How annoying. I still haven't found a dentist that I feel comfortable in my area to, like, that takes my insurance, that I feel comfortable with touching me teeth. I'd mentioned on a previous stream that I haven't had the greatest of experience with dentists in my area.
Someone nice to
Nice. Clickety clack, click, 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 clickety clack. I forgot what I was saying. Let's not talk ourselves down now. Founders keepers. Oh, he gave me monies. I got a little bit more monies. Well, this was not on purpose. Hello. What are you buying? What are you buying? What are you buying? I want to get lots of money so I can make big house. A bedroom. It'd be nice to not have the bed in the living room. Like everybody just walking into the house into your bedroom. That sucks. I mean, that's what studio living is like in real life. But yeah, it'd be nice. That'll be a nice that'll be a nice upgrade. Yeah, that's basically studio living. Like people walk into your bedroom. Like walk into your house, they're in your bedroom. Living room and dining room. Fortunately, not the bathroom. That would be terrible if it was like open concept studio. Like everything's just open. You go into the one room and that one room has the kitchen, open concept bathroom. It's your living room, it's your bedroom, it's your dining room. Doors for who? Privacy, what is that? Oh yeah, I'm looking for Tish. I got distracted because there was that mission checkmark. I guess we'll go to Sifu first. You have the money for it now? What have you been doing to make the monies? It'd be kind of cool if this was a thing in real life. If you could just have a glider to do and be able to do that with. Like, okay, well, I don't even have 2,000. Nice. Good job. See, this is why I tell you that school could take you like 2 hours if you just focused on it.
It was very easy and also very nice journey. A bunch has returned with this. I don't have to watch the 2 minutes of videos of content.
Okay.
So that I probably skipped over 10 minutes.
Yeah, see? Jenny and I don't even have 2,000, so how are you acting like getting 10,000 is so easy? Like, it's only 10,000. That's like wealthy people say, that's like wealthy people talk. Like super rich people being like, what's the big deal? It's only $100,000 car. Business is business. Business. Okay, I remembered what I was saying. Hello, Anna Smith. Welcome. We are actually getting ready to wrap up the stream, allegedly. I think I've only said goodbye 3 times, and I'm Dominican, so there's like a cap minimum. So like there's a lower level cap where I can't actually leave the stream if I haven't at least said that I'm leaving like 3 times. So we're in that threshold where either I'm leaving or I'm going to say that I'm leaving like 3 more times. It's a luck of the draw. It's like a toss of a die, and it's a 20. It's a 20-sided die because we run on Dungeons and Dragons dice over here. I remembered what I was saying when I got distracted because ADHD, fun times. I was talking about the YouTube stuff. So the thing that they allegedly brought down the requirements for monetization, which is a lie. How long have I been playing this game? I've technically been playing it since the closed beta, because I was part of the closed beta testing team. Then I played it when it went into open beta for one live stream, and then I played it consistently for 10 days now, I think. 9 or 10 days, because Teddy told me that it was on the Switch. The open beta stream that I did, it was on the computer, and I am less than subpar at WASDing, so computer playing. I am much better and enjoy games more if they are on remotes. So as soon as I found out that it was available on the Switch, and it is also a free game, the only way you'd really spend money is if you do microtransactions inside of the game, and it's mostly outfits, which I don't care about. So I don't care about outfits in real life, so I'm not going to care much about outfits in a game. So as soon as I heard that it was available on a platform that I enjoy, I went and got it. Took a little bit to download. It's kind of a chunky game. A bit of a chunk. Okay. But I really enjoy it. It's very addictive, so like not a game to take up if you happen to not have a lot of time. I have a lot more time freedom because, well, not that much time freedom. Actually, I was going to say I have a lot more time freedom because my tiny person is not so tiny. He is pretty much able to fend for himself. But then I remembered he's in that phase of development where even though he can't do everything by himself, he's like just wanting me to do stuff for him. And I've come to the realization that he's just at a developmental spot that we all go through when we kind of regress. Like,
Good to see you.
is this your letter?
Nice chatting.
Okay, so it's not your letter. Yeah, so he's at this point in development where he's kind of done this regression thing. Mind you, he will sit there and like cook a meal for the entire family, and yet somehow, modification. Change furniture, colors, design. At first I was frustrated. I still get kind of frustrated. I'm not gonna lie, I still get kind of frustrated when he comes up with these things like, I'm going to die of starvation. It's like, my guy, you have multiple times cooked meals for the entire family. What are you talking about? But he's just at this weird stage. At first I was having a struggle, like trying to find a good balance between helping him continue to be independent and not over mothering him, while also helping him in what he needs. And I just I started just thinking back on my very many years of life and interactions with other preteens and teens, and I realized that seems to just be a common developmental stage in like the transition period from preteen to early teenage years, where they kind of just, I don't know, maybe they're trying to reaffirm that they are important to you, and so they regress in what they act like they're capable of doing. My 12-year-old can do all of these things for himself, but he will have days where he'll just be like, I have a headache. I'm like, my guy, just go feed yourself. He's like, I don't know what to eat. What do I do? Go cook yourself some food. And then he's like, there's nothing I want. And the moment I say, oh, do you want me to make you this? He's like, yeah, I'd love that. Like, no matter what it is. Because what he wants is not what... I've come to the realization that what he's after is not the spoiling or the food itself. It's kind of having that feeling that you still matter. That just because you're older and you're able to do all of the things by yourself, you don't cease being the baby that'll still get taken care of. I don't know how long the phase lasts because I'd never come to that realization. I've taken several child development and child psychology classes. However, I don't remember this part of it. I might have gone through it, but I think that there's a lot of psychology that is lacking when it comes to things that are actually pretty normal and natural for preteens and early teens that feel burdensome more than anything else. So a lot of people just take it as, oh, even doctors, like qualified people, oh, it's just a rebellious phase. They're just acting out. It's like, could it be something else? Could it be maybe not that they're being rebellious or acting out, but they're just trying to recertify, like, because it's a weird transition for kids, you know, that age range of like 12, 13, 14, because we also have higher expectations of them when they get to that age. So it's kind of like, wait, do you still care about me? Kids translate things weird in their mind. So a lot of kids, when catastrophic things happen, they feel like it's their fault, even when it has nothing to do with them. Oh, I found that mask that Gina needed. This is why parenting is so hard. Because we have to battle with the things that we were taught that weren't necessarily the right things or the most ideal. And we also, apart from the fact that there's like no manual that you get, there's a lot of stuff that it's like learn as you go, and there's a lot of stuff that even being highly educated in a field that has to do with children, you're still like, whoa, didn't know that, wasn't prepared for that, wasn't expecting that. Because also, even though some things are rather standard for children, they don't necessarily come out at the same times. And you know, even if it's the same for or similar for most children, kids being slightly different, just different enough where you can't just go with stereotypical pattern for something. And it's just like, they're just different enough to where a pre-laid out plan is not gonna work. It's not gonna be enough. Because there are a lot of similarities, but all kids are different in so many little ways. And it's little tiny ways, but then they add up. It's like a snowball at the top of a hill. And the differences standalone are, yeah, negligible. Then we start stacking them on top of each other. It's like, oh, what did I get myself into? But kids are very similar and also variable. So it is very confusing. It's very confusing to raise kids because there are such dichotomies. They're like, they are constantly two things that don't seem to go together. Like, there's so many things about kids that is like oil and water together at the same time, and you're just looking at it like, this doesn't mix. Like, these things should not be, they're counter each other, so they shouldn't exist together. What is this madness? Humans. Pew! Why did I come home? What did I need? Well, one thing, I need to cook. That's faux sure, because I don't have a lot of food in my inventory. So 4 meals, that's not that much. I need monies. Anyways, I need to do a lot of grinding, and I was able to do a couple of missions. What was that? Complete 3 missions that I wasn't even counting on doing. Back to the YouTube story. They allegedly dropped the requirements down. I say allegedly, and I also do all of the air quotes, all 10 fingers of air quotes. That's what we're doing, all 10 fingers of air quotes. Because it went from being 1,000 subscribers and watch time requirements to 500. And it feels like, oh my God, that's just around the corner, and we could definitely do that. But there are, the things for the regular requirements is 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the most recent span of 365 days, or 10 million views on shorts in the last 90 days. So it's either or. Either you have a lot of watch hours or you have a lot of views on shorts plus 1,000 subscribers. And when they brought it down to 500 subscribers, the first tier, the first level of monetization, I didn't notice that there is no or in those requirements. It's and. So it's highly unrealistic. And that's why I'm saying in quotations, like allegedly they lowered the standards, because they didn't actually lower the standards, because it is very hard for someone who has 500 subscribers to also meet the next two requirements, which is 3,000 public watch hours in a year, in the most recent year cycle of 365 days, and 3 million views on shorts. And so it's very hard for someone who only has 500 subscribers to also meet these other standards of watch hours and views on the shorts. Meanwhile, if you hit 1,000 subscribers, you only need to achieve one of the two. So it's not really a real reduction in requirements. It's only a perceived reduction to keep people making content and keep smaller creators on the platform longer, to try and make them feel like they're making progress towards monetization when they're actually not. Like, they're not making the level of progress that they make it seem with bringing it down to you just need 500 subscribers instead of 1,000. Because again, 500 subscribers, it's really hard to hit 4,000 or 3,000 watch hours, whatever it is. Even 1,000 watch hours in a year is hard, even if you do have 500 subscribers. And don't even talk about shorts. How many people don't even make shorts? So they're gonna sit there making it seem like, oh, you're one step closer to monetization because you've passed that 500 subscriber threshold. But if you're not making shorts at all, you're not getting monetized at 500 subscribers. Like, not at all. Even if you have content that people do come and watch and give you the 3,000 watch hours, you're still not going to get monetized. Yeah, you're still not going to get monetized if you're not also doing shorts. The or only exists once you make it past 1,000 subscribers. And I thought that was really shady. I mean, I know it's my own fault for being excited and not paying attention to all the stuff. Yeah, it unlocks super chats and donations and not YouTube revenue, but at least you have some way to have YouTube to have revenue, because at 500 subscribers, like anything under 500 subscribers, the requisite amount of watch hours and views on shorts, like people can't even super chat into you. They can't give you donations, at least through the YouTube platform, which I don't recommend anyway. They take too much off the top. That's why I like Streamlabs, and I put that and I activated my Streamlabs tip thing and put that in the chat, because if I'm not mistaken, Streamlabs only takes 3%, which is super low in the industry. So many of these other platforms take 30 and 40%, and that's why I like Streamlabs. Not sponsored. It's just that I think it's more humane when these creators are drawing traffic to your platforms, which is then by proxy going to draw revenue, because it's drawing advertisers to your platform, because these freelance creators are bringing more stuff to your platform. It makes sense to give them a good amount. It's like, look, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with, and taking into consideration. Okay, this is why I think it's trash for platforms to take 30 and 40% of whatever revenue you get from like donations, super chats, and stuff like that. Because until you hit monetization, they're making money off of you on ads, and you're not seeing any of it, and you're not going to have a retroactive. So like, once you hit monetization for any of these platforms, they're not going to retro pay you all the money that you've made them up until you reach monetization. They're not going to pay you for that. Like all the time you've been creating content, whether that's 6 months or 6 years, that they've been making money off of you from ad revenue, you're not going to see any of that. You only start receiving a portion of income from these companies, these host companies, from the moment you hit monetization. Anything before that is just 100% theirs. So without the creators on the platforms, they're not making anything. Like, YouTube doesn't make money if every creator that's on YouTube simultaneously decides to just go on strike for a day. YouTube is going bankrupt, pretty much. Very close to bankruptcy, because, and it's not YouTube, not just YouTube, it's like Twitch, Rumble, Kick, all of them that are specifically for video content that is solely moved by the creator, independent creators. If every creator just goes on strike for a day, all of these platforms stop making money. They might have some residuals from videos that are already on the platform, but is going to severely cripple their ability to make money. Because if creators, all the creators just go like, nope, you know what, you're not paying us enough, this is trash, you're getting rich off of us, and you're barely giving us any of the money that we generate for you. So I find it so messed up that they keep so much of the money until you they just keep so much of the money, because until you get monetized, they don't pay you at all. Once you become monetized, and once you reach certain thresholds where you can get donations and where you can get ad revenue, a small portion of ad revenue from the company, but you can also get donations and tips from individuals trying to support you, then like, it's just so trashy. I know I'm inside of this system trying to also become monetized to generate income, but the way that it is structured right now, I think it's really trashy, because they're making so much money off of you, and then they just don't want to pay out to you, even though, like, basically the whole, wait, what is this? It looks like I've been getting YouTube chats and they're not popping up in the overlay chat. Why is that? Hi GT, sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my chat. It's supposed to populate all of the places that I'm streaming on the overlay. Thank you for saying that I am cool and to keep going. I wish they would have popped up on the screen, but I don't.
Keep going.
Thank you. I do need to keep going. You are expensive to keep. Your upkeep is a little pricey. What? It doesn't even make any sense. Anyways, I think I fixed it. Hi GT, if you'd like to say any of these things again and get them up on the screen for the chat. Actually, let me see if I can do this. It's probably unnecessary, but I'll do it anyways. Let's see. It's about to look really crazy. So I just copied everything that you had put into the YouTube chat into the Social Stream Ninja, so it comes up on the screen. It's not the same as having your own chats come up, but you know. Yeah, but if it ever, you know, comes up where he happens to pop back into the stream, maybe he'll notice or not notice, but I just feel like I feel bad that I didn't notice that YouTube wasn't populating into the chat. But I do definitely appreciate that he came in, he was watching, and he was commenting. So I appreciate that. So YouTube, we are at 941 subscribers. Viewership has gone up, and watch hours have gone up. I'm going to put out more shorts. I think I have like 3 that I'm quasi ready to put out. But I gotta see which ones. Let me see. I want glowworms, struggles of streamage, and live streaming games are the ones that I've put out. I have another one. I have a cooking one. That one's like 30 seconds. So maybe that one will get a lot more views since it's extra short. I'm putting that out today. I think I'll put out 2 shorts today, but then I think I'm all out of shorts that are already edited. And I don't feel like editing today because I've already been streaming for 3 hours. I still have to do like 3 more loads of laundry and feed myself. I haven't, other than the little cracker snacks that I had, de leche. We went to the Hispanic supermarket yesterday, my mom and I was like, I can't come here and not get some of these. Other than this and my coffee, I haven't eaten, and I kind of feel like food.
Yeah, you ate coffee.
Yep, I do eat coffee. Nom 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 nom. And I'm a weirdo.
Solidified coffee?
I probably would, if it was delicious.
Would you eat coffee powder?
No, that's gross.
So you wouldn't eat coffee?
No, because you could probably make coffee candy. I've had coffee candy and I enjoy it. But you don't use the grounds, just the grounds, to make the candy. I don't buy candy that often, so no, not that often.
What? What are you talking about?
You said, how often do you consume? And I assumed, I inferred what you were next going to say. And I responded to the inference that I made.
I was gonna say caffeine.
Oh, if I could buy some liquid caffeine, I would, but the price went up. Powder? Why?
So how often do you consume white powder?
No. I do have in my Amazon save for later. I actually do have caffeine liquid, but the price went up on it. So yeah, I can't. I'm not buying it right now. When the price goes back down, I might buy it, or when my income goes up, whichever one happens first. Because I would love to have extra caffeine on my coffee that I flavor with coffee. Because that's not going to be a problem. That's not going to give me any health problems. Or ridiculousness problems. Because over-caffeinated streams are quite fun. I need to do one of those. But it really negatively affects my sleep pattern. So that's why I haven't done it again. But they are quite fun in hindsight. In hindsight. I should do that one of these days. When's the next 3-day weekend? That I don't need to like supervise and quasi force you to do schoolwork. When is the next 3-day weekend, guys?
In 5 years.
That's horrible. Are there no holidays in March?
Has it been spring break yet?
I think it's at the end of March. Check your schedule, because it doesn't matter what the country's schedule is. The only one that matters is your school schedule. So please check your schedule.
I actually checked it earlier to see. I'm pretty sure the next week is it's just like, let's see, so 15 to 18.
Yeah, but 16, 17, that just seems like a regular weekend. 19, 20.
25, 27.
27. And then you don't have class again until when? April 2nd?
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's
27. 27. Spring break for John starts the 27th. So, sometime while he's on vacation.
That's
What is that, 5 days?
I think 6 or
28, 29, 30.
Yeah, I think 5 days.
Yeah, so maybe if it's 5 days, we might do 2 over-caffeinated streams. Sounds like a good time. I mean, I guess I could do an over-caffeinated stream on Friday.
Like, let's see.
I'm calculating these things right now. That's why it's like dragging out, because I'm like, when can I functionally do an over-caffeinated stream without negatively affecting everything in my life, namely John's schooling and my capacity for proper parenting. But I might be able to pull it off on a Friday if it's... Maybe that should be a thing. Maybe that should be a thing on our channel. Just Fridays or over-caffeinated stream. if I don't need to function during the weekend, if I don't especially need to function during the weekend, I think that's something we should do. If we had enough active, actually we probably do have enough active subscribers right now, considering how much the I gotta do it on my, I don't know if this is gonna affect the chat, but we're about to go to my channel. We're gonna community post and we're gonna make a poll. Should we make all Friday streams over caffeinated streams? How do you spell over caffeinated? Over caffeinated. I forgot the dash, but I spelled it right. Should we make all Friday streams over caffeinated streams? All Friday live streams. All right, so I am, because I only have a community page, I don't know how to do the functions on other sites. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put a community post on the YouTube channel. So M&J Do Everything YouTube channel, community tab. I have the following poll. Should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams?
But you do know you could just put it a poll on the stream.
No, because it's gonna have to go over time, because I need there's currently nobody watching live on YouTube, so I needed to just last for a while until I cancel it. So this is the poll that is happening right now. Should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams? And if you've been here for a while, you can go back, and if you haven't, you can go back in my history of live streams. They're pretty chaotic, is entertaining, and I'm a hot mess in a very silly kind of way. So again, the question is, stop interrupting me, please. Should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams? And the options are chaos, woo, and nah, be normal. So again, M&J Do Everything on YouTube. This is going to run, I guess, until I get rid of it, maybe? Or I'm just gonna leave it there. And I'm gonna check the results this coming Friday, which is this coming Friday, if my calendar wants to open up. Calendar, March 8th, 2024. I'm gonna check on the results in our community tab on the YouTube channel. M&J Do Everything community tab. Should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams? The options are chaos, woo, and nah, be normal. I just put it on there. It should be in the community tab. Let me refresh my page. Yes, it is currently published in the community tab. Let me... John, can you go on my channel, please? Don't click into it. Like, just go through regular YouTube. Go find my channel and see if you see the community, what it says in the community tab. Because Jenny doesn't see it on her end. Oh, it's there? Okay, Teddy sees it. What are you gonna vote for, John?
Find it first.
Aren't you subscribed to my channel?
Yeah.
There was a very long pause. I'm gonna unsubscribe from your channel.
What? Okay.
If you're not subscribed to me, why should I subscribe to you? We have one vote for chaos. Woo! And I'm gonna guess that's Teddy.
I'll go to my subscription to find it.
So that's on. So March 8th, 2024, which is this next coming Friday. I'm going to check the results of the poll. Should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams? And if it ends up being chaos, woo, the Fridays are going to be really interesting. Nothing else, they're going to be really interesting. And my kidneys will not appreciate it, so I will also have to buy some like electrolyte drinks to give my kidneys a little bit of extra help. And it's gonna be coffee over caffeinated, or maybe a couple of times Red Bull over caffeinated. But eventually, when I can put it into the budget, I will just buy the thing of the jug of caffeine liquid, and then just have my coffee over caffeinated. And I'll have to be careful. I'll do some research before I actually do it, because obviously I don't want to be unsafe. But hold on, I'll show you guys here in a moment. Let me find it, because it's been in my save for later shopping cart on Amazon for a long time, so I have to scroll down a lot. Caffeine.
Don't sell prices in such as Amazon.
Yeah, but I don't want the lime one. I want the no flavor. I don't need a flavor. Or I guess I could do watermelon. That'd be interesting. That'd probably be good.
Watermelon? What?
Watermelon flavored caffeine liquid.
Ooh.
There used to be a non-flavored one, and that's the one I had in my shopping cart. But I just searched for caffeine liquid, and
5 hours.
it gave me something that looks exactly like what I have in my shopping cart, really, really far down on the scrolling. And I'll pull it up here. Hold on. I would try to get the wait, hold on. Good thing that didn't pan out. Okay, I need this screen. Alright, so view this. So it's this. Keto Energy Shot is just its name, and they had a version that didn't have a flavor. And that's the one that I had in my shopping cart ages ago, over a year ago. So I didn't feel like scrolling all the way down to, because it's in my saved for later. So I didn't want to scroll all the way down to where I would finally find it. And it might not even be there anymore, because it seems that they don't have, it would appear as if they don't have the version that doesn't have a flavor anymore. But I would get, eventually when I could put it, if we end up doing over caffeinated Fridays, eventually when I can put it into the budget, I will also buy this. Because liquid caffeine. Because why not? I mean, my other caffeine consumption is liquid, but I mean, like, it wouldn't be coffee, it'd be like... No, okay, hold on. This. Oh, I had that. Messy. Okay, hold on. If I do this. Put it there. Put it like that. Okay. I think that's better. Didn't even realize that little tweak I needed to do. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I have a distinct suspicion that it's going to end up being Chaos Woo. So I'm gonna see if I can maybe put this into the budget for next month. That's the hope that I can. I mean, either way, whether I do, because I just don't want to use. I don't want it to be coffee, because then I'm gonna end up having to double up my subscription on the coffee that I use to flavor my coffee, the instant coffee. But that's a lot cheaper than this, because the 20 pack is $18 for that. But also, how many? This is 32 shots. I'd have to do the math, but if I go with coffee for over caffeinated Friday streams, I'd have to buy more of the instant coffee that I use to flavor my regular coffee. A lot more, because obviously caffeine has to be at a much, much higher interval for it to do anything to me. To get up to over caffeinated stream, it takes a lot. Since I literally flavor my coffee with coffee. Fun times. I think I'm going to cut the stream because I need to grind, and there may be other things that I could do, but this is what I want to do. I want to go grinding on the hunting aspect. I guess I should also build some furniture, like just for S&G, so that chick will give me the recipe for silk. What do I need for this? I need a lot of wood. Wood! But I want to go make myself some food. And take a walk. I've been sitting for too long. Oh yes, hello. Goodbye. It's not hello, it's goodbye. This time she's waving to say goodbye. So I will be checking on that poll. So the poll, P-O-L-L, not the P-O-L-E. I'll be checking on the poll to see what everybody ends up choosing. Again, that is M and J Do Everything on YouTube, and I will choose the option that most people vote for by Friday of this week, March 8th, 2024, and we will go from there. It'll either be a regular Friday stream or it'll be an over-caffeinated stream, but either way, we will definitely be here on Friday. And aside from that, let's see, which one am I missing? There's the Streamlabs, there's the Linktree, and then join the Discord. Where are you? Join the Discord. Join us on Discord. Yay! Jenny also found it. Let's see what it says right now. The poll is currently at... John, did you tell me to be normal? The split is 67-33 because I am suspect, thinking that John probably voted, nah, be normal. Judging by his face, he's the one who voted for that. I'm a little surprised, I'll be honest. I'm a little surprised that he chose that option, that he chose that route. Let's see, we got all of the things into the chatty chats. Thank you for everybody who stopped in today. We had Hi GT, who unfortunately probably left because it looked like I was ignoring him. Jenny, who is a regular participant of our streams now. Teddy, who's always here to support me, and I'm always grateful. Oh no! And we're getting someone into the chat just when I'm getting ready to leave. You're always here to support taking my money.
No.
Kelly Trevor 10, welcome. And who is there? Well, he does know my chaotic side, but I think my chaotic side is a little fun. But maybe it's not fun for him because he's subjected to it all of the times. He's probably over it. But also, he doesn't have a leg to stand on because he's super chaotic himself. I told you about his did I tell you? I didn't tell you on stream, but I think I don't remember if I told you. Actually, I don't remember if I told you off stream. So I will tell you now on stream. Did I say it on stream? Okay, Strange Who. His weird skin comment. I don't remember if I said it on stream, but I'll say it again on this stream. So the other day, I'm getting him ready for bed and we're hugging, and he goes like, "I love your skin." And I'm just like, wait, what? You sound like a serial killer. All right, Silence of the Lambs. Oh, I told you on the phone, Teddy. Okay, so
my previous work.
So I said, okay, Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Clarice. And I did that, and he's just like, he starts kind of like lifting up his upper body and just looking down at me and with his eyes bugged out open and looking at me really creepy. And I'm like, you really sound like, he's like, I just love your skin. And I'm like, you sound like you want to wear my skin. Like, you sound like a serial killer. And so then I try to like get up off the bed and run away. And he like koala hugs onto me, just grabs onto me for dear life. And I'm trying to puts the lotion on the skin. And I'm trying to get away from him. And he's holding on to me for dear life. And he's just like, I don't know what the problem is. I just really like your skin. And I'm just like, you sound like a serial killer. I also like my skin. And I like to keep it.
You sound
Oh,
like you're
God.
gonna wear your skin.
I wear my skin every day. It's quite comfortable. I'm quite used to it. But it was like out of nowhere. Like we were just snuggling. I'm getting ready to start. And the thing about it is I was just about to start prayer because that's what we do. I'll snuggle him. We'll do bedtime prayer. I'll turn on the classical music and wait for him to go to sleep. And so like we're about to go into prayer. And he's just like, I just love your skin. And I'm like, what did I give birth to? And every time I have told that story, he just bursts out laughing. He enjoyed it while it was happening and has enjoyed it just the same every time I retell it. Oh my god. Oh, it's definitely fun, but yeah. So I'm not the only chaotic one. It runs in the family. But then again, I guess he has no other choice. Like, it's kind of hard to not be chaotic and a little weird when this is what's raising you.
And you
But it's
probably told me that you look nice.
No, I don't think I've ever said that because it makes you sound like a serial killer. Like, if I wasn't against putting him on camera, the face he made just now, when he just got panned to, like deadpan, he goes, what do you mean? It's like, okay. What is the name of the skin serial killer on Silence of the Lambs? Because that's... like, he was... Oh, man. Okay. Oh, Teddy's got to get ready to leave, and I've already said I'm leaving the stream like 5 times. Thank you, Kelly Trevor 10 for popping in at the last moment. We were getting ready to wrap up anyways, and then the weird skin stops looking. Stop being weird. You're making me highly concerned. He can't keep it together, and I can't keep it together, and it's a hot mess right now, and we were ending the stream anyway. We've been streaming for 3.5 hours. I need to go get it together and, like, eat and take a break from this really straight up stuff. Oh my god. The way he's staring at me right now is just, I can't keep it together. I'm going to go, and I will see you guys on the next one. Since I am finally able to, I'm gonna lock you outside. I was about to say, since I'm able to finally lock the door again, I can stream earlier in the day, but now I'm about to use the door to keep myself safe from Silence of the Lambs over here. I will probably see you guys tomorrow for another Palia stream. And yeah, it got really weird and it got really funny, especially towards the end. Again, thank you for everyone who helped out being in the chat, helping this be a dialogue rather than a monologue. And I can't give any shout outs to Rumble because it was weird and I ended up not streaming to Rumble today, but we'll catch Rumble on tomorrow's stream. We'll catch them up, probably not, but they'll at least be in the stream. And again, don't forget to check out the poll on M&J Do Everything on YouTube. And that is the deciding poll for what's going to be happening on our live streams on Friday. And again, just to say it one more time, The question on M&J Do Everything in the community tab, the poll is, should we make all Friday live streams over caffeinated streams? The options are chaos, woo, and nah, be normal. The current split is 67 to 33, 33 being Silence of the Lambs over here, choosing that I should be normal, which led us into this whole conversation. This whole last 5 minutes of conversation. I've laughed so much, it's like bringing up phlegm. It's a hot mess. The chaos has already started, and it's only Tuesday. The poll's not even closed. Oh my god, y'all have a wonderful day, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are tuning in from. Don't forget to do the social media things like follow, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you know when this is happening again, when I'm going live and post other content. And because you never know when it might get chaotic like this, and when it might just be a little extra different. And stop trying to get into my line of sight. My peripheral vision is too extensive. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Stop. It's chaos. The chaos. I haven't turned the microphone off yet, sir. If you're going to say that to me so weird, at least wait until there's no evidence. Okay. I need proof of this. Say this again. Say this into my lapel, please.
Into my lapel, please.
No, that's not what I would. Repeat what you said after I turned the microphone off.
What you said.
He said he loves my skin again. He's just like, oh my god. I need to run away. Silence of the Lambs.